This is going wonderful, everybody. Just remember. Well, that didn't go as planned, now did it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to this thing that keeps playing and inside the booth. So, do you want to know how I got this merch? Well, let me tell you a story about my father, who was not really a part of my life, but let me just tell you a little story. I got a lot of echoing here, so maybe let me just plug this in real quick. All right, that was me, wasn't it? Well, thank you, everybody. Remember, Batman is a joke. Anyways, so let me tell you my story about how I got this merch. And if you don't have any merch, I'm gonna come get you. All right. So my story goes like this. If you get some merch, you'll be part of Inside the Booth. And, well, who doesn't want to be a part of Inside the Booth? I think we all should be a part of Inside the Booth. And so shall our friends who are on this show tonight. But you don't know because you don't see them. But let me be nice and bring them on. And I didn't really say anything about the story of my father because, well, you know, yeah, I didn't really plan this out. Anyways, welcome everybody else on this beautiful. We have Tabitha on my right. We got R2theICKY down below me. And then we got Captain Dax, everybody. So, welcome.
Welcome.
And here I am. Welcome. Today we're talking about, if you did not know, Batman, my arch enemy. We don't like that, do we? I mean, come on.
I do. He's the greatest superhero of all time.
Yeah, which one?
Batman.
Well, which Batman?
Just Batman in general.
Batmans, actually. Okay, well, yes. Anyways, welcome to everybody. We got TD, who said hi. Kaylee, Mrs. R2theICKY. Who else was Avery Cruz? And Phil and Tim's
Lulu,
Talk.
I think, was there.
And, what was that? Lulu, yeah. And I think that's it, right? Did I get everybody so far? And and my
some
mom.
guy from Canada in there.
That's right.
And, oh, that's right, my brother.
That ghosty person.
I think he's Two-Face because I'm the Joker.
Wow, David, what a smack in the face on.
Anyways,
first he's not here, then he's not real, then he's a cricket.
That's right. So
he's a
I
Gemini.
forgot to say one thing, guys, about the merch and the story because I didn't really plan anything, and then my computer's like really slow, and everybody noticed it, and so yeah, what I was gonna say was go to www.insidethebooth.tv.com and buy yourself some merchandise. We got some mugs, we got some koozies, which make your drinks cozy. And we also got other stuff that I don't have on right now. We got shirts that are not this.
Very comfortable hoodies.
Hoodies, that's right. So but yeah, that's it. So go buy some merch at the shop page. I'm actually changing over my water to a different cup because tonight we're talking about this guy.
Well, I don't have my Inside the Booth mug because it actually broke. So tonight I'm just sporting the
Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. I mean, if you saw that game, this might be our year.
Yeah, well.
I know everybody always says this might be our year, but if you saw the games lately, this might be our year.
Hoorah.
Well, I don't know.
You sound like a Raiders fan. They say the same
like
thing every year.
No, because then I would be cussing, I would be punching people, I would be probably have a rap sheet a mile long, but
Oh my.
just, you know.
Yeah. But still, there's a chance it might be their year.
That's true.
I wish this thing would like zoom in closer to our faces. I'm gonna turn this off because it's making everything
Could
go
get a
slow.
little closer, like so. But I don't want to do that.
Do the whole stream like this.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
There is a solution to that. You know, just get closer to the.
Ooh, we got CG artist on. What's up?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
The Bears.
The Bears. That's funny. I love.
As long as nobody's rooting for the Browns, we're okay.
Hey, now somebody out there is rooting for the Browns.
Yeah, but then we have to pity them.
Right.
No, you don't have to pity them. Just say,
well, if they're rooting for the Browns, they're not.
Dan, where's that Joker attitude you had there?
I was going to say my toilet roots for the Browns.
Well, it's hard. I guess I'll have to stay in character. I guess I'll have to look at myself from now on.
You just have to be mean, Dan. But sadistic at the same time.
Are you talking about the Bears? Those Bears are gonna lose. I'll make it happen because I want to watch the world burn.
Burn.
Yes, TD. Vanquish the like button.
That's right.
Like vanquish that like button, or else I'll come after you.
He might know where you live. You never know.
I do.
Hey, Jedi.
Lulu, we don't want to talk about college football right now after Texas was ahead by 21 points yesterday and let Oklahoma
did you see that game today? Let's just talk about the Bengals versus the Green Bay Packers. Did you watch that today?
That one I missed.
Okay, well, let me tell you a few things. Each of them were just field goaling the whole stinking game, and they were missing the whole stinking game, and then it was tied the whole stinking game, and then the Green Bay Packers.
And then someone won the stinking game.
And through a field goal kick. It was intense.
I haven't watched a football game in probably 2 years. I used to love it.
I'm not really a big fan of football, but I have to be a Bills fan just because my Uncle Mike's a Bills fan, that type of stuff.
I am a Cowboys fan if I am rooting for a team. But
hey, fun fact, did y'all know that Gina's daddy played for the Cowboys?
I do.
I didn't know that.
Yep, he played for them back in the 80s, was their second string quarterback.
Which, of course, was like, that's X.
I'm that man. Tell me where it is. Tell me.
Dan having
swear to me.
See, you don't have quite the raspy voice that
well, let me tell you
that it was pulled off.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
I guess I'll just have to tell you about my non-scars. It's just makeup.
I know how 90s kids got those scars from those plastic popsicle wrappers like we all used to say. And then we start cutting
That's right.
Like it was worth it. Like I swear, all of us would eat those things and we would just get these cuts and we wouldn't stop. You had to slurp up until the end of the tube. It was just great. It was awful though.
Before I forget, I got to show chat.
Oh yes,
What I'm wearing.
Supporting my wares. That's right.
Master
That
the TDS.
Fill
Thank
the
you for
background.
coming, Master.
Yes, thank you so much. I enjoy
We
his and his
appreciate
wife's
you.
streams.
Hey, TDS. Yes, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And we did say hello to Jedi Knight, didn't we? And then
I
there's
did.
We did.
Subhuman.
Oh, hello.
Subhuman 84. He must have been born in 1984. That's what I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Anyways. He also says, don't remind me of those days, Tabitha. With those popsicle thingies.
Hey,
You
I
know,
enjoyed the 90s. I don't know what
Hey,
you guys' problem
did you
was,
know they
but
still make them? And
They
I give them to
do.
my kids?
That's right. You got to carry on the tradition. Like, how
That's
else will
right.
they learn and understand where we came from? Those are our origins. Oh my
Yeah, but
All right,
they
let's
don't
get
make
into-
any of the good candy like they used to, like the fake cigarettes that you used to be able to get and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the
Oh,
great
yeah.
candies back then when we were growing up.
Sweet.
TDS has something interesting to say. Today was
Tell
nuts. My
us
wife and I uploaded a video
the
and we had
story
someone
of
really
your
interesting
father.
comment that we didn't expect. Was it Batman?
Was it your father? Was he a fiend
Don't leave us hanging,
and a
TDS.
drunk?
Like,
Yeah.
now I'm thinking of all kinds of people that we know in the community. I'm like, who was it?
Was
Or
it
maybe it was
Jay?
somebody
It was
outside
Gina
of the community.
Carano.
Gina Carano. I
Was
think that
it
would make everybody's
Batman?
year.
Oh, I know
I'm
who it
Batman.
is. It was
It
the
was Phil,
happy
wasn't it?
dinosaur.
Oh.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh, it was Nerdrotic. Oh, that's cool.
Nerdrotic.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Very
That's pretty
cool.
Hey, Roe Disney
Very-
commented on there too. Shout out to Tom.
Hey, I commented one time. I didn't get any recognition.
Well, I can't wait until Disney looks at this and says, I like it.
I like it.
Oh, you can't
I like it.
say TDS. You can't say so surprising. I saw your little bumper that you made as your promo, and there's Friday Night Tights talking about Gothic therapy. He knows who you are.
Plus,
trying to be all
TDS has
modest.
been like growing in the
I
subs
know.
and everything like that, like crazy. So I mean, he was bound to get some.
Yeah,
recognition.
he's
Well,
like, oh, look who commented on little old us. Everybody
Well,
knows who
he's
you
still
guys are now.
surprised.
Hey,
He's
modesty's
still surprised,
important.
and
You
it's
know,
okay.
humility. It's all good.
Yeah. Well,
I
you
mean,
know,
it's awesome.
thank you for coming on here because now
Yeah.
you're a big shot.
Exactly.
That's right.
And now you got to give us a good shot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
Avery
drink to
says
that.
wing hugs to everybody.
Wing hugs.
That's
I
great.
cannot
I
put
love it.
a GIF in the comments section below. Why? That's okay. So let's talk
Wow.
about Batman, everybody, since that's
Yeah.
what we are here for.
That's right.
Batman.
Wait, we're gonna stay on subject tonight.
Batman.
Batman.
I
We're gonna
hope so.
try. We're gonna
He
try.
lives in a lair.
Betsy.
Believe it when I see it.
That's right.
Betsy boy put me in a mental asylum, and now look at me. Do I look okay to you?
Well, it's October, so actually, yes. Hey, Elijah.
Oh,
Look pretty fitting.
we have
Hello.
Who's-
Alicia's
something green.
here.
A troubled green.
a troubled green. How are you?
Agree.
Boom. Alrighty. Okay. Let's talk about the first Batman. We can do some tributes if you guys want, but we're gonna do mostly. We're gonna start with Adam West and end up with Mr. Patterson. Pat, is that how you say his last name?
Patterson.
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 You know, the
Patterson.
the glowy vampire,
The Twilight
which
Boy.
doesn't remember. Which remember everybody. Vampires don't glow in the sun; they burn and die.
Right.
'Cause I like burning
Traditionally.
things. Come on, don't do this to me. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go up for.
It's Jay.
Oh, look who
Hey,
we have on
Jay.
Drunk 3PO.
Oh, now I feel bad for not wearing my hat if you see
Hey.
her. So
Well, Mr. Drug
I better
Trivia,
put mine on.
You better put it on.
we're
Jay's
talking
here.
about
I
Batman.
knew. I got it on.
Do you want to talk about Batman with us?
Yeah.
I'll send you a link.
Welcome
You
to
can
the
jump
chat
on.
or to the live stream, Jay.
Yeah. Always a pleasure.
So, yes, always a pleasure.
Handsomest man on
he's
YouTube is
big.
what Jedi Knight
Not-
says.
Now,
No, wait, this is too cool. If I'm going to end up,
yes,
he's here for
we
Tabitha,
know.
of course. But
we know.
if I'm going to end up streaming
Yeah.
with Jay, I'm just not ready for this.
We ain't ready for this. Anyways,
We ain't ready for this. Like, we're
Yes.
just
what's going on? All right. So, and I'm the handsomest zombie. Yes, TD, you are.
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, I know, Jay. You're the luckiest man in the world. You know.
And thank you for
Friends
stopping
with
by since you
Gina.
are trambling.
Yeah.
Meeting awesome press secretaries. I mean, just,
Yeah.
we don't want to hear it.
You got to spend
That's not
3
true.
days in a car with Ryan and Jeremy.
I'm not sure how awesome that would be, but hey, maybe.
So
Batman.
Adam West, Batman. Did you guys enjoy Adam West? Did you
Yes.
do you remember anything about Adam West? You know, I mean, he was a little bit before our time as Batman. Obviously, he was still living while we were growing up. But
Are you kidding? He's still voicing Mayor West for Family Guy.
Well, not anymore. He can't be. He's kind of deceased now. But
he was still voicing it.
Right. He was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, that was their live action Batman. I mean, I'm too young for that. I really didn't see those until, the 89 movie came out and they started showing the reruns again. But
right.
Well, obviously, I've got the age on the channel. I used to watch them as a kid when they, in syndication, they came out in the 60s, but in the late 70s, early 80s, they were heavily syndicated. And you could catch them all the time on TV.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like Adam West. I think he had
He's got a wonderful voice, let me tell you that.
Yeah. I think he had a good personality for it all too, because back then, before Batman got really dark and mental and all this kind of stuff, he just he was the perfect Boy Scout, as they always say. He was chivalrous, he was honorable. I think he did a good job being a cartoon character come to life. Obviously it was a different time frame, so TV was very different back then, and so he was the bee's knees. It's just that no matter how much I enjoy him as Batman, the fact that they drew on those weird eyebrows on his helmet and the fact that sometimes the bat ears would kind of like flop, I wish they would have done something a little bit more to keep the ears up.
Hey,
well,
he almost got a James Bond gig from being Batman, though, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, that would have been cool.
He was very close to doing it, and he actually turned it down because he was like, well, James Bond should always be somebody British, but
right. I think
that would have been Phil. That would have been cool if he made a cameo of someone else's Batman.
Yes.
And he wanted to play Batman in Batman '89. He was like really upset that they wouldn't even consider him, and he was like 55 years old, I think, at that point.
If you look at that show back then, that was that time period's Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
That was the bubblegum
Subhuman. We're skipping the black and white guys that were Batman. Sorry.
Ooh, hey now. Yeah. Let's not get into race.
That's what I'm trying to.
The black and white. Anyways, yeah.
But no, that was that was the modern or at the time modern day Lone Ranger. That was the bubblegum pop culture hero for a lot of kids, and there weren't a lot of other shows like it running at the same time.
That's true. That's
Thanks,
true.
Jay.
We were all surprised, Jay, when we saw R2 for the first time.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to show up in a mask when you first showed up. I'm like, that would have been cool. Like,
Spider-Man, man. That's right.
Or you
I
thought
won't say I wasn't a little bit disappointed.
well, I'm just glad you didn't say like, oh, I thought he was going to be a talking trash can, just beating.
Hey, he said you're looking good, so at least he doesn't think you're ugly.
Yeah,
Right?
no, hey, if Jay says I'm looking good, I'll take it. Believe me.
I mean, since everybody on the internet apparently thinks he's one of the most handsome men on the planet, that's got to be a compliment, right?
It's true.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Phil, I'm just an old soul. Yes, I do use the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. Get over it. I'm not a boomer. I just read a lot of old
smile.
books.
It's just covered by the
Tabitha
mustache.
is just wholesome. That's all that it is. She's not a boomer. Tabitha's wholesome.
That's right. I'm a Renaissance woman. I'm into everything. Look. How come Dax doesn't smile?
Like I said, I'm smiling. It's just covered up by the facial hair.
I smile all the time. Can't you see?
And see, I'm old and gray, so the gray really reflects the light, so you just can't tell.
There you go. See, that's right. A troubled green. We know. I know you read. Exactly. So anyway, Adam West, I would put a thumbs up on Adam West, just saying, because again, I think he did a great job as who Batman's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a defender of the people, and he thwarts the bad guys. And again,
does he
obviously,
do a good Bruce Wayne? That's a good question, right?
I do think he does. My personal thing is that I think he's suave enough,
in those movies,
sophisticated enough to do a
in his
Wayne.
shows and in those movies, he did do a good Bruce Wayne. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they were campy, anyways. They're campy, kind of heartfelt, silly little shows.
Well,
Everybody
they're trying to take a comic and make it into a TV show, so I guess they didn't.
They didn't take that source material seriously back then. So I mean, that's why it was campy. But that's kind of the charm of that show when you watch it, too.
Exactly, and you look at a lot of the other shows back at that time period; they were that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Phil. You're right up there.
But no, I think he's a great Batman. I love watching those.
Yeah, they're good to just go back and watch sometimes, even just for fun.
Yeah. And not only that, but like even to the villains, all the villains that were on, everybody that played on there was great. Cesar Romero as the Joker. You had Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, and then there was three different Catwomen, right? You had Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, and I can't think of I can't think of the third one. Who was the third Catwoman? Or maybe there was just two. I'm hoping Dax might know, since Dax.
I'm trying to think. I think it was only the two. I think there was only Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt that were the.
I swear there was a third one.
Oh, you know maybe, what? Let's IMDb it and find out.
My wife should be watching this, so I'm hoping my wife will look that up and throw it in the chat for us.
I'm throwing up IMDb right now. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Good old IMDb.
Tell me, when people wear makeup, how do they not itch themselves?
Thank you, Dead. I appreciate that.
Well, the same way women do. Like, we tend to just kind of either fan ourselves, or you just gently touch the spot so you don't smear. That's what or you just endure. You have no idea what we have to go through.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you, Jay. I love my hat. I think it's awesome. I'm so happy to finally have one. So thank you. And I'm glad it was such a big success for you.
They were sold out by the time I considered getting one.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get mine. It was one of the first things I bought after getting back on my feet after this flood.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God,
I like when the world burns. Not floods, burns. Sorry, I just had to do it.
When did his series start?
Huh?
When did the Adam West series start?
Was it 64? Didn't it start 64?
Yeah.
Or did it start in 66?
It's 1966 to 1968.
Okay, so it was started in 66.
Okay, that can narrow
Then they
down
did
my
a movie
search.
back when? When was that movie that they made? Does anybody know? I mean, I don't know.
Off the top of my head, no.
I know nothing.
But Dax is on IMDb, so
Yeah, here we go.
I'm sure he can tell us.
I finally found the right series because there's like a billion Batman listings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are.
I was trying to find who was the guy who played Caesar Romero. That's what I thought. I thought it was interesting how he refused to shave his mustache for the show.
I
so
loved
they
it.
made
I loved it.
I thought that was
loved
interesting.
Hey,
That's a cool
they made
idea.
the movie in 1966 as well.
What
So
happened?
the movie came out in 66. The Adam West movie came out.
Okay,
Yep, 1966.
sweet.
No, IMDb is only
Interesting.
listing 2 Batwomens that I can see.
Okay.
2 Batwoman characters that I can see, and it's Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar.
Bat birthing people.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
That just sounds like a science experiment gone wrong.
Back you.
Birthing people.
Bat birthing people. And see, in this way, you don't
have
know
you
if
seen
it's
the
about
movie
Batwoman or
Twins?
Batman.
Have you seen the movie?
Hey, would a
Twins?
pregnant Catwoman have a litter of kids then?
No, not twins. What is that? Hey, what? I'm thinking of the other movie. What is that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? Not twins, but the other one where Arnold
Junior?
Schwarzenegger gets pregnant. Junior.
Junior.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Have you seen
Yeah.
it? Men can get pregnant.
Yes, I've seen it, and I've purged it out of my memory for all times. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
You're
I should change
welcome.
my name.
That movie was horrible.
It was. It was pretty bad.
I don't think
It's not
I've
my
seen
fault. I didn't make the movie.
Yeah,
Why you're
excuse
telling
me,
me?
just-
Taking it all
brought it up. You reminded me of that.
Hey,
horrible-
same person that made 1984 Ghostbusters made that movie, Dan.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
That's probably why it was. Why it had some funny parts in it.
Right, suddenly Dan's like,
You know.
oh, I remember
Yeah.
that.
I just want to see how much you might backpedal on that fact.
I didn't know.
It wasn't really all. Now that I think about it, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Come on, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Hey, can I
goodness.
change my name while I'm sitting here talking to you guys?
Hey,
You
I
should
think
be
I
able
saw
to.
Dex smirk with that one. I just
Did
want
I've
to
been
throw that out
laughing a lot. Y'all just can't.
Yeah.
tell.
He's got the Jeremy Renner resting face, is what he's got. Oh my goodness. Dan, there should be a way. I've seen people do it before, so you should
I
be
can't
able
do
to.
it. I don't know.
I just don't know how. I'm afraid if you do, you're gonna like.
I'm gonna disappear. That's what I'm.
Disappear.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, you might
So
not. If
forget
anybody in
about
the chat knows, I know Jay's done it before, but I don't know if he's still here or not.
Yeah.
He's probably busy traveling again.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That was cool to see him.
Him
That's
and
for
his alter ego, Redbone Jenkins. I
Isn't that the
didn't.
singing guy? Oh, he's still here. He said. Whoops.
That took me
Okay.
by surprise. I wasn't expecting.
Redbone Jenkins.
Hey, David, how are you?
What's up, brother? Hey, did you know I know a guy with the last name Jenkins? Well, I knew a guy. He passed away. His name was Leroy Jenkins, Reverend Leroy Jenkins. He was a pretty cool guy.
Was
So,
that
anyway.
the guy who was in that YouTube video playing WoW?
No.
Leroy
That's a different Leroy Jenkins. They're actually, the name Leroy is spelled different. So,
Okay.
but if you put in Reverend Leroy Jenkins, I got to meet him, shake his hand. It was pretty cool. He was big back in the 50s and 60s, healing ministries and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool to meet him. So,
Is that how
anyways,
you got those scars?
that's how I got those scars. They healed up pretty well, don't you think?
Dan, thanks to Phil, I know how you can change your name if you just click on the 3 dots down way below where the rest of us are. You'll see.
Yeah, see, I
edit
changed
name.
mine.
Way below where the rest of us are, huh?
Not Dan's dad. So, what's the next Batman film that we're talking about?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to leap to Batman.
Yeah.
Every now and then I try to pull us back.
1989. Yeah. Michael Keaton.
I wasn't a big Michael Keaton Batman fan. Well, I mean, he did a good job as Batman, but it wasn't my favorite, and I really didn't like him as Bruce Wayne, to be honest. TBH.
See, I liked him as Bruce Wayne. I think he was my favorite.
Found it.
Bruce Wayne. Maybe just because he was so, like average. Like you would never have guessed.
Oh, Dax
he was
already
Batman.
changed his name. Dax, how'd you do that?
There's if you go down to your
like
picture.
R2, how about you and we'll just talk.
Sure. Yeah, we'll keep it going as they try to figure out names.
Okay, no,
we'll talk about it.
I figured it out. All right, go.
R2's like, I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, I liked him as Bruce Wayne more so just in terms of like a secret identity. Out of all of them, I mean, he was the one that, you would never guess, like, that guy's Batman. And I don't mean that, like, in a silly or funny way. I mean, I genuinely mean that, like, he had the best secret identity out of the bunch. And he kind of slightly, kind of played Bruce Wayne aloof a little bit, at least in the first one, too. Like, I love kind of his introduction as Bruce Wayne. There's the party, and there's all these people, and, like, they're kind of talking smack about him, and he doesn't care. And they, like, walks in on him, and, they suddenly figure out who he is. I always like that.
I think
he played the character. I think he played the characters very different, and I think that's what made a good. Like, I agree with what R2's saying is that you would have never expected him to be Batman. Especially like when he walks in, he's like, "Oh, give him a grant." When he catches him in the art room and they're reviewing all of his art, and he's walking out. And he's like, "Yeah, I got to go do this. Make sure open 6 cases of champagne and give him a grant." And he's just very aloof about it. He's just very. And then you switch to the Batman character, and he's very serious, very focused, very. So yeah, I think he played that very well. I'm not a huge Michael Keaton fan either. I don't think he was the best out of that series of Batman when it comes to playing Batman. But I think I agree. I think he probably got the best out of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did.
And my favorite Bruce Wayne moment with him, really quick too, I just have to throw out there.
No, go ahead.
The part when he's with the Joker and Vicky Vale's apartment. He's like, "You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts." And he's got the poker.
Yeah, I think it's shot.
Yeah. I always love that part though.
Yeah. I enjoyed Michael Keaton as Batman. I always have, just because that was the first Batman I ever saw in the theaters.
So there's a nostalgic value.
Yeah, and it was hyped up, and I got a Batman hat, got just a bunch of little merchandising little thingies that you get as a kid, and you're like, "Oh, this is the coolest in the world," So, yeah, I think that's why I like him. I don't know. I don't think he's like the best, but he's definitely one of the top. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he just definitely wasn't my favorite. I kind of agree with a troubled green over here, just from, I guess, the female perspective. She said, "I'm sorry, but like as a woman who's always loved Batman, out of all the superheroes, he's not handsome enough. I know it's more than that, but Bruce should just be dreamy, and he wasn't." And I kind of agree. Like, I don't think Michael Keaton's ugly, but it was just, I think because he wasn't sophisticated enough. But I guess, like R2 was saying, is that it throws you off that way, definitely.
Drunk says he's more of a
Superman.
I
think they were trying to get more of an everyman to kind of play him. And another like amazing fact too is when it was announced that he was going to play Batman, like, fans lost their minds. They were not happy. They were writing letters to Warner Brothers. That's what people did back then. To a lot of younger people in the chat, they wrote physical letters to Warner, going like, "This is not Bruce Wayne. No way! Don't make this." People,
right, because it was dark.
So pissed off. Yeah. Well, no, they were just pissed off that they're like, Mr. Mom is going to play Batman, they lost it over that fact.
Yeah,
I think he did a good job, though. Honestly,
it wasn't terrible.
I think he looks better in the bat suit than some of the other guys do. Now, as Bruce Wayne, I understand that he's not as dreamy as the other people, but in the
I'm just
bat
not
suit
into curly
itself,
hair that much either in that style. That back in that style, I just that irritates me.
And it's kind of funny. I'm going to skip over this little fact. I mean, it's kind of like what happened with Heath Ledger's becoming Joker too, where people lost their mind. But he
did one.
Warner had kind of didn't have a lot of faith, and they threw together. You can look it up on YouTube. It's like a really poorly made trailer. But they put this trailer together for Batman, and once people saw that, then people went ballistic. People were all in for it.
Heath Ledger was a great actor.
Just like when they when they saw Heath Ledger as Joker, and people went nuts for Batman though. After that point, though, when they saw him in the outfit,
I think my worst Batman would be George Clooney.
He's a good actor.
I know we haven't, but I just want to say he's a great actor. Yeah. He's just not a good Batman. He's not a good superhero,
I have to agree.
So
he's good with like what the store. Yeah, what was that?
I mean, I give it a point.
A point. Well, we don't have to give points. We're just fighting.
Yeah,
we're a rumble, man. It's a rumble.
Everybody say thumbs up for Keaton. Thumbs up. Okay, so let's do this. Thumbs up for Keaton for Batman. Thumbs up for Keaton for
Adam West.
Bruce Wayne.
I keep. I would
say thumbs up for Bruce Wayne and middle for Batman.
I keep it in the middle.
She's got to do her half thing no matter what you do.
Yeah, I don't know yet, just because I want to talk about all the guys.
Hey, I know who my favorite is. Okay, I don't have to settle for subpar.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. We know.
So many ways. Excuse you. Excuse you. Okay, I am now troubled. Excuse you.
What? Okay. Oh, it's not Ben Affleck?
Oh, surely not.
Oh, I think. Okay, we're going to the next guy, Val Kilmore. I think Val Kilmer was a good...
Kilmore?
Yeah. Right? Sorry, did I butcher his last name?
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Kilmer, sorry.
Iceman.
Woo.
Matt Mardigan.
I liked Val in that movie.
Your Huckleberry.
He was that's right. I want to be your Huckleberry. He's a great actor. I think he did a good job being a Batman, a superhero, and Bruce Wayne. Now, I didn't like some of the costumes they gave him, with the little nipples, but it got worse with George Clooney. But other than that,
the close-ups of the buttocks too, like when we were suiting up. I'm like, what is that about? Was that for the ladies? Because I can't really say that we all necessarily were like, oh my gosh.
But that was the director, though. I mean, that was all based on the director and how he viewed the characters. Like he was like, it's all about being like a Greek god. Let me talk a little bit about
that movie. I liked the Riddler, but not Two-Face. I thought.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Two-Face was trying to be too like the Riddler was to try to stay up there with Jim Carrey. But I think
they were trying to make it more like
serious.
The comics.
Yeah, but I think Two-Face should have been more serious,
Oh,
why so serious?
I felt like he was trying to do the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I felt.
I thought Tommy Lee Jones did, honestly. I thought he did a great job, though. Like, I was not expected from Tommy Lee Jones.
It should have been. I know I'm not racist, but it should have been the black guy who was Two-Face from
Billy D.
Previous.
You mean Lando?
But yeah, the guy who played Lando. That's right.
Don't call him the black guy. Call him Lando at least.
I don't know why that would be racist.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was
I can't remember names. I'm a little.
Well,
because it was the black dude. Oh, I see. Okay,
I think
a compliment. It's not racist.
Sorry,
Billy D. Williams was promised that he was going to be able to play Two-Face. He took Harvey Dent for that whole purpose, and but when Tim Burton left and went to Joel Schumacher, then that's when things changed. But funny, Billy D. Williams did get to play Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he did the voice. Yeah.
I honestly think Val Kilmer.
Hello, Amen, Fate.
with R2. I think Val Kilmer was probably of this era the best Batman. He did okay on Bruce Wayne, but I think he was absolutely the best Batman. He just had that the voice. He had the, and I'm sorry, it's something about the jawline too. He had that square jaw that just fit the character.
Yeah.
He of those
he
three,
had the chiseled feature, looked like the cartoon.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He looked like, if you had to pick any character that was popular at that, or an actor that was popular at that time, I don't know who else you could have picked that was better, because he had that. He had that. What do you say? The reputation about him. You've seen him in Top Gun. He's this, chiseled beach volleyball guy out there. Yeah, and he's always serious. He's always a little bit arrogant too, which I think if you're going to be Batman, you have to have a little bit of that arrogance in you, because you have to believe that you're the only one that's going to be able to save Gotham. Serious? So I think Kilmer did fantastic as Batman.
I thought he was dreamy. Honestly,
so
there is
Tabitha's favorite Batman.
There is a nostalgia. I mean, for different reasons. Obviously, I'm just going off on looks and appearances at the moment. Right. But there was a little bit of nostalgic. Like, honestly, I didn't
like they went away from the darkness of the movies, though. When they changed directors and stuff.
I liked. Oh, okay. I liked, and I know this is kind of crossover here, but I mean, I liked the Riddler and Two-Face, but like Val Kilmer was my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. But I have to say, Batman and Robin was like my favorite story. And the villains were my favorite because, and I again kind of crossing over there, but I loved Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, and I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. So like if they would have had Val Kilmer over in Batman and Robin, like I would have really enjoyed that.
I don't know why Val Kilmer wasn't, but
yeah,
it must.
He was probably doing other stuff.
It must have been because they, the movie the one that he was in, the Batman movie he was in, was not viewed well. I guess.
Batman
I think they were trying to capitalize on Clooney's popularity at the time, because at the time George Clooney was one of the biggest things in film or TV. Yeah, and I think they were trying to capitalize on that.
Perfect Storm was good, but not Batman and Robin.
Well, I was going to say with Val Kilmer too. I think he ended up doing something else. He ended up doing like Island of Dr. Moreau. Plus, during that time, he was getting a divorce too. So I think that was kind of one of the reasons he didn't come back. Was he had other commitments, and then he had.
He might not have been offered the role.
But I think because of what he had going on, they didn't want to wait, and so that's why they just let him go. I didn't. Not
that
like
was Keaton's best role,
Val Kilmer, but like to me, Val Kilmer, I'm impartial to him. Like I didn't hate him, but he's not my favorite.
TD says, "Did you like the bat nipples too, Tabitha?"
No, unnecessary and to be honest, just gross. Like it honestly it made the bat suits just seem.
And you like
unprofessional? Is that the best way
Dan and I were discussing this earlier. We think we figured out the reason for it. It was just that they were fighting Dr. Freeze and they were always cold. So that's why the bat nipples were there.
But they didn't get dressed in a freezer. I mean, like.
Alfred was maybe that transferred over when Alfred was putting on like the latex to make the mold for him. Oh, Master Wayne, you must be cold.
I feel like we need a backstory of Alfred, to be honest. Like maybe that's the story that we really need to be focusing on here. How did Alfred make all those things?
And the funny thing is they didn't show up on Batgirl's costume when he made hers. So it's like, what are you saying here?
I don't. It's just. It was always weird when they flipped around and their backsides were visible and they kind of jiggled a little bit, and I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? Like, I don't understand.
The bat butt.
And like, I was a kid Alfred at the time when these movies came out, and it was just like, why?
It's so that people could become Comic-Con cosplayers and, show off
What?
their stuff when
Their
they're.
backsides? Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Show off their stuff. I don't know. That's
I don't
just
know.
me guessing.
But
Anyways,
I liked Val Kilmer. I thought he had a good voice. I thought he had a good look, and I think he was in
You didn't
trouble,
like that.
if you will, troubled enough, but not brittle and broken and a mama's boy, like later on. So, just a sneak peek into what I think about later films. To answer Phil, no, I'm not a Rob Pattinson. Neither am I a Ben Affleck fan of
Ben Affleck. You don't like Ben Affleck? Come on.
as Batman. Heck to the nah.
He did an okay job. Come on. He
Yeah,
was
I don't
like
settle.
he was the beefiest Batman.
Skipping
He was,
ahead.
he was the Batman that looked like he was gonna kill somebody.
Batman is my
we're
favorite
skipping
superhero,
ahead, though.
and I don't need a whiny butt with mental problems.
Yeah,
to
all
be
right.
special
Sorry
to
for
me,
skipping
okay?
ahead. Christian Bale's next, right? Because we did.
Oh wait,
We did both of
No,
the other
no.
two together.
no, do we? No, Clooney's next.
We were doing it.
Clooney's
Yeah,
next.
right.
I
But we were doing
crossed
Clooney
over. I'm
and
sorry.
Val at the same time, so we were talking about both, weren't we?
Now
Clooney
it's
was a
just
terrible Batman,
Yes,
but he wasn't
Everybody.
too bad of a Bruce Wayne, or at least let's say,
The only thing
he's
about
a decent
the
Bruce Wayne.
thing, the thing about Bruce Wayne, though, to me, with Clooney, was that I don't think he had enough Bruce Wayne time. He was more Batman.
That's
most
true.
of the time, So I can't give him a yes or no to Bruce Wayne.
Here's where I'm going to have to differ with Tabitha too. I think that was the worst story. I think that was the Dr. Freeze, and
Mr.
it was
Freeze
so
was the worst,
bad.
man.
Nice to see you.
He can't even talk. The guy, he's big and bulky, and he's like, Freeze!
Every ice pun that you've ever thought up in your head was in this movie.
Exactly.
Well,
And
I was younger when it
just
came
him.
out, so you were probably looking at it from a lot different perspective than
Possibly.
what I did when I was younger. So I looked at it; it was a fun, really wonderful,
Why didn't you rewatch
comic. Huh?
Why didn't you rewatch it?
I did rewatch it. I love those movies. I gladly watch it again this week. I do. I love those films.
Hey, there's nothing wrong if you like those movies.
Yeah, I mean, I know,
We just don't
I
like
do. I definitely know
No,
some of
there's
the stuff
nothing
is
wrong with it.
cheesy,
You're
but I
right.
guess because I kind of liked it because it was just, I don't know, I thought it was creative and fun and whimsical. I think it could have almost been a Tim Burton film, which is surprising because I'm not necessarily a huge Tim Burton person. But
No, those movies were not even close to Tim Burton. You kidding me?
well, it
those
had a lot of that
movies
whimsical stuff going on in there. I'd have to say I love when they have
Wasn't
Mr.
dark
Freeze in
enough.
his little chamber and he's got his little snow bear shoes on. They're tapping away as they're listening to Christmas songs. Okay, I like that part, but whatever.
Yes. I'm
Well,
glad you like that
It's
part.
okay. I mean, you can't be right all the time. So,
You should know from experience, Dax.
I'm never right. I'll say that.
I don't know. There was something about them that I liked. I liked the costumes as far as the villains and stuff like that. And again, I just really thought that the villains did a good job as the villains. I'm not saying that the whole movie was brilliant necessarily, but I just thought that, like, I don't think the plot necessarily was the best in the world, but like the whole town freezing and whatnot. I don't know. I really was drawn to the villains. I really thought that they did a good job as the villains.
Well, I'll give Uma Thurman credit for Poison Ivy. I mean, I think she did an incredible job as Poison Ivy. Even though I don't think she is as attractive as a lot of people do, she had that, the seductress role down really well.
Exactly.
And I think she did really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would not really, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't think Uma Thurman is the most attractive woman in the world. But somehow, when she became Poison Ivy, it was like a whole Princess Diaries miscongeniality thing. Like she just changed and she became beautiful. And I don't know. I thought that was impressive.
And somebody who keeps skipping over here too is Robin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought Chris O'Donnell did a good job.
Chris O'Donnell was fantastic as Robin.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, he did a good job. He's a better.
I didn't like him.
CSI California guy or whatever that show is. Anyways, Jedi Knight says, y'all know the song you give love a bad name? Because I used to think the lyrics were, you give love a Batman, but
Come on, you got to sing it with those lyrics on the stream.
no, because I don't even know that song. So sorry.
You don't know that song?
Sorry, I don't know that song.
You don't know?
Oh my God, that's Bon Jovi.
Jovi.
Come on.
Hey, how old are you, man?
It's not about how old I am. It's about what music I grew up with. I did not grow up with that music. I grew up
Neither
with
did I, but
only Christian music. So,
yeah.
Hey, I didn't get out.
Jesus, man.
That's right, Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Right. And to answer, let's see. Somebody else had a question right here.
I'm
yes,
sorry, Jedi
Poison Ivy is one of her most celebrated, besides Kill Bill, one of her most celebrated roles. Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I think so, Elijah, and well deserved too, because like I said, I think she did a really good job.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
She did.
I wasn't a big fan of Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl, to be honest.
Because you weren't a guy.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody I knew was a big fan of Alicia Silverstone.
I mean, she was all right, but I didn't think she was anything special.
No, actually, I don't think she did really well in that role.
Yeah.
I mean, she seemed kind of like, okay, so at the end of the role, she's like this computer genius, right? You never get any build up to that.
Right. Yeah, there's like no backstory really about her.
He's like, okay, we've got to realign these satellites. And she's like, here, let me do it. And
she's just like tapping away.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, she is Alfred's granddaughter. Does she really need any explanation? We don't know Alfred's backstory. I'm just saying. So.
I have a problem with that in movies in general, because when they show somebody like working on computer hacking, all they're doing is slamming on a keyboard. And I'm like,
yeah,
I did programming for years.
Like billion
you
Power
type
Rangers.
stuff in, but yeah, you don't just sit there and type stuff into a computer and it magically does all these things for you. So.
The quick brown fox jump over the lazy dog.
Question: whatever happened to that Alfred? He was pretty good, Alfred, wasn't he?
He died.
Yeah, I liked him as Alfred, to be honest.
Right. He died in real life, but what happened to him in the movie? He stayed alive, right?
Yeah,
he's still alive to this day.
In the movie, remember they got the stuff from Dr. Freeze that he was going to use to cure his wife. And Alfred was in an early enough stage that they were able to cure him.
Mm-hmm. And his wife was already gone, right, or something like that. And they're like,
no, they refroze her.
Mm-hmm.
They refroze her and sent her to Arkham Asylum so that he could work on her while he was in prison.
Yeah, but when you freeze somebody, I mean, you're pretty much dead anyways. When you're frozen to death.
Not Walt Disney.
Yeah, not in sci-fi.
No, I was going to say it's a sci-fi movie. It's fantasy. Anything's possible.
Well,
awesome. I mean, this woman had poison running through her veins and her lips. I mean,
it's like The Simpsons. Oh, have we solved the cure for 21 stab wounds yet? Not yet. We're up to 20.
I mean, look at the Marvel movies nowadays. No one dies. I mean, heck, even in Black Widow, she fell 9 stories, hit every object on the way down, and she survived.
And walked away with just a little bit of a limp. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because she's a woman, though.
Very nice. And a superhero. But us villains, when we get hit, we actually break some bones.
And
but see, she's not a superhero technically.
But still walk away. That's right.
Really well-trained assassin.
Because how else are you going to
have a super spy?
Couldn't that be said the same as Batman? Because one of the reasons that I'm a big fan of Batman is because he doesn't have any superpowers. That's kind of my favorite thing about Batman is that he can keep up with Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, but he doesn't have any superpowers.
I want to say like 10 years ago, there was an article in like Popular Science about being Batman. They said physically, like the longest that anybody in their peak physical condition could be Batman would be 3 years before their body would just start to break down.
Oh, so that takes the fun out of it.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
yeah, I can see that.
You see that in the modern ones.
You see that.
Yeah, you see that in the Bale series. You know, by the third movie, he's having to have a leg brace to help him kick things, and the doctor's like, "There's no cartilage in your knees whatsoever."
His back is broken. You know, that third movie though of Christian Bale wasn't really that good. Just saying.
Okay, so let's, I guess, move on to. So what do we think, Clooney?
That's right, Tim's talk.
Oh well, so Clooney as Bruce Wayne, I will give.
That was frozen for like 70 years.
Clooney as Batman. No bueno.
That's right, because that Batman sucked.
So let's move on to Bale. So are we going to do all three movies together here?
Yeah. Because we're just talking about Christian Bale's Batman.
Okay.
I think he started off good, you know, and then he turned out to be not as good.
Which is hard to do in today's thing. Usually you don't start out so good and you end up a little bit better.
I have to say I went back and watched the whole series.
I like Batman Begins,
in prep for this week. And I was still shocked at how well done the first Bale movie was. And really the second one too. And I think in both those movies,
well, of course, the second one had Heath Ledger in it.
Yeah, but they didn't watch it for Batman. They watched it for the Joker.
That's right. That was me all the way because I.
But see, people didn't know how good he was going to be as the Joker until it hit.
That's true.
Well,
people were very skeptical about
Heath
him.
Ledger. Heath Ledger was my
He's
guy,
great.
so I watched every movie he's been in.
Especially if I only knew him from like A Knight's Tale or was it 10 Things I Hate About You or something like that. I never saw it, but I knew he.
By the way, I would just like to mention, if you haven't watched it, please go back and watch Inside the Booth's review of A Knight's Tale.
Oh, you'll double over with laughter. Yes. You got to. It's one of the highlights of the year.
And especially, too, because of Dax here. Makes that a wonderful, wonderful.
I have to say though, R2 over here made a couple of comments that had me almost in tears. Like,
hey,
I try.
I have to admit,
luckily my wife is not wearing that eye patch anymore, so it's fine.
I have been the only person so far that I know of that has made Tabitha literally fall out of her chair laughing. So I still hold that title.
Dan had me a little bit close at the intro of this video when things were echoing and going. And he was trying so hard. I felt for him. But it was funny. But
that's good. I'm glad you could laugh.
I'm
glad
totally
everybody
broke
could
that
laugh.
stream.
Yeah.
It was a good try, Dan. It really was.
I know. Thank you. Phil says that he heard I was frozen for 2,000 years, which is why I look so young. Thanks, bro.
And that's why he doesn't know Shout to the Heart. Because
that's right. That's
he's
right.
Not caught up.
And Jedi Knight is trying to sing it on his own over there.
In your to play, you give love a Batman. A toupee.
So much of my childhood being destroyed right now.
Wait a minute. Sing that again, Tabitha. I think I've heard that song.
Well, everybody's heard that song. Even if you grew up.
I guess I just don't know the name of it, I guess I just don't know the name. Because I've heard it in a movie or two or something like that.
Oh well, sure. God. Yeah, I'm sure you have.
So
they played it for they played that like every other song straight for 3 weeks in the like 88, 89.
Yeah, I was just saying the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you could have missed that.
I remember hearing that all the time as a kid.
Yeah. That and I mean that and Living on a Prayer were probably their most played hits.
I'm sorry, Phil, that you like The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, it's okay,
Well, any movie with Anne Hathaway in it automatically gets extra points, Phil. Yeah. I mean,
Bane
automatically.
She is a good actress.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Bane, I don't know. I don't think Bane did it for me. I was expecting someone a little bit bulkier,
Bulkier?
More?
Yeah, of course. Look at the cartoon.
I mean, they had to pick a human.
So
well,
we
look
have
at-
a
look at the guy
problem
who
with
plays,
Mr. Freeze and
the
Uma
Hulk.
Thurman, but we can't. But we think Bane needs to be bulkier.
Yeah. Look at the guy who plays
Not bulky or bigger. You know,
just bigger.
I mean, it would have been nice to have seen
Like
Bane
him
be
shooting-
bigger, but
shooting those things through
I
his
do like.
veins and being like, "Ugh."
Dude, have you ever seen the movie Warrior
But,
with Tom Hardy,
Mm-mm.
where he's an MMA fighter? If you haven't, it's an absolutely fantastic movie. But I mean, that dude is like ripped, bulked up, and this was right after he played Bane. So I don't know what more you could have wanted out of an actual.
I mean, outside of just having him being, you know, it would have been nice to have had Bane be taller. I don't think Tom Hardy did a bad job as Bane. I mean, the only knock I could say you could give to him was just, you know, Tom Hardy's not the tallest guy.
Here's the problem I think I had with Bane in this movie. They made Bane a little too much or too cerebral for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Bane was a little bit more of just a thug in the comics.
Yeah, he was supposed to be kind of. Not
he was just the
smart.
muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So,
in this movie, they made him a little bit more
Batman
cerebral.
Forever, or Batman
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
Batman.
Bane?
Yeah. I think
I
he
was
too stupid in
surprised
that movie,
at how
but, you know.
high pitched his voice was. That honestly was what like really irritated me about Bane. Once that his voice just didn't seem to be like, I don't know, it just seemed a little bit too high, and it was kind of, and I don't know, in my opinion, kind of inappropriate for like this huge muscled masked person walking around. I don't know, it struck me as very odd in my.
And it sounded too intelligent. That's the other thing. It sounded too refined for what Bane is supposed to be.
Well,
I have to agree with the lady.
Well, but you know, if you watch that movie though, I mean, there's a switcheroo at the end, right, when you kind of find out who the true villain is. But Bane was supposed to be an equal to Batman Bruce Wayne, and so they made him be somebody that was intellectually an equal to Batman. Right? I mean, kind of that's kind of what had happened is not only did he best Batman, not only did he break him though, but I mean intellectually he bested him for the first half of the movie. So, you know, that's kind of what they were trying to get at with his character.
Yes.
Elijah's absolutely correct right there.
He did, yeah.
He's such a strange looking man anyway. But
he did a good Scarecrow.
The portrayal as Scarecrow was just spot on.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do like about this series of movies. Their villains were really well done.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, all of them, all the way through, their villains were really well done. Heath Ledger, obviously, but even I can't think of the guy's name right now who plays Two-Face. It's just slipped my mind. But his Two-Face,
Eric Eckhart.
There you go. Thank you. But his Two-Face was perfect.
He did
because, like you said earlier,
like
you said, and I think I wish we would have seen more of his Two-Face because I think he did a really good job of it.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the other one earlier, it was Tommy Lee Jones's was almost like it was too comical or too high energy, trying to match Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But his was spot on.
I think he would have been better if he didn't try matching Jim Carrey. Wing hugs.
Wing hugs.
Thanks, Ray Ron.
I mean, I think the Christian Bale series, I think they're well-made movies, but they're not my favorite at all because they're and I know that a lot of guys are into that, and it's just, you know, that is what it is. As far as it's so much darker, you know, it's very gritty, very dark, kind of disturbing. And you know,
like Christian Bale.
No, I absolutely hated him as both Batman and
see, I would give him second for Batman.
How do you like it when I throw you around, Batman?
I could not when he started speaking. That was when my distaste just was nailed for it.
That's the one thing that I don't like with his is the
that's
swear to me.
You want to know why? Because back then when that movie first came out, there were so many parody Batman things going around on YouTube. It was hilarious. I loved
That's
it.
why you like him as Batman, because people made fun of him?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. You know, I say I hate. You know, I mean that I mean that in the most pleasant way possible. I do not like Christian Bale as either Batman nor now. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. Absolutely not. I think he's a fantastic actor. I've seen him in plenty of other movies. I just don't think he had the brute, like kind of we were talking about earlier. I just don't think he had the je ne sais quoi that people are looking for, in my opinion, in Bruce Wayne. He was very arrogant. But he was, I don't think he was likable. I mean, like, he was just a rich guy with money and mental issues. And I don't know, these movies started setting up Batman, in my opinion, to have, I know that, like, in Batman Forever, you know, Val Kilmer's character went to see a psychiatrist, but he wasn't such a pansy about it. And I'm not trying to display, you know, like, to downplay people with these issues. I'm just saying, it's like, that's all we ever think about with Batman now. Is like even with Ben Affleck's character, it was always about, you know, the struggles, and like he just wasn't a strong character anymore. Like everything had to go back to that moment, and just in my opinion, that makes him very weak. Like it didn't make him strong at all. And one thing about Batman, and I would think you would have to be a mentally strong person to handle everything you're doing. And I understand it's kind of a journey through the process and everything. But he had already made it to the mountain. He'd gotten the flower. He'd crossed the oceans. And he's still just kind of a wuss, in my opinion.
That's a German reference right there.
Which one?
Okay.
But made it to the mountain, got the flower. I know what it is.
And I don't even think that he was that handsome. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I don't think he's an ugly person. I'm just saying for Bruce Wayne, I just don't think he has it at all.
Well, I was going to say, prior to what I think we're going to... I was going to say, prior to what it looks like we'll see with the Robert Pattinson one, I mean, he was kind of the youngest Bruce Wayne we've seen. And I kind of felt like with him, with kind of how he became Batman, or at least once he got back to Gotham, you know, it was kind of more of a somewhat practical, like we got to see like how he was making everything. It wasn't so futuristic. You know, he wasn't perfect, but I liked him as Batman. I liked him as Bruce Wayne. I didn't care for the voice, and I think the one character flaw about him that I didn't like was just how much he was hung up on Rachel throughout the whole series.
That's what I'm saying. They kind of, I don't know what this fixation with superheroes and their problems is. And I understand that makes them relatable, but that's why we love superheroes, because they're not relatable. We want to aspire to be them. We don't want them to have the same problems that we have.
But it's
and I'm sorry, but when you downgrade from Katie Holmes to what's her name that played Rachel in the second movie?
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Why did they do that?
Who knows? Who has to know that her brother's way more attractive than she is?
Yeah.
Because I know exactly why. Because Katie Holmes
played
Tom Cruise.
Again, it was something. I think it was slightly had to do with a scheduling issue where they couldn't get her back either. I think Katie Holmes didn't sign on for another movie because she didn't think that there was going to be a sequel, and at that point, I don't think they could get her.
Well, if you notice also, that was right after she had married Tom Cruise, and her acting career just died off. But
I don't think it had anything to do with that. Like I said, from what I had heard, it was she didn't think there was going to be a sequel, so she didn't sign on for it.
Tim says it was a contract thing.
I think Tom Cruise just ruined her.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I think Tom Cruise just ruined her.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise is crazy.
You know what?
Well, he loved that woman.
Sir Michael, whatever Caine is his name, as
Alfred.
Alfred, he did a great Alfred. I loved it. I think he was the best.
A ruby the size of a tangerine.
Well, and I think
he's a great actor.
Yeah, he was really good.
He's great. And I think I agree with Tabitha as far as the Bruce Wayne side of the character goes. but I do think Christian Bale did an exceptionally good job as Batman. I agree. He was not the right kind of arrogant. Like you see some of these superheroes, like Batman is the equivalent of Iron Man for Marvel, and Tony Stark pulls off the arrogance and the confidence so well, and that's what you expect to see in a Bruce Wayne character.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Well, I mean, the intelligence, knowing that he's the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, but he didn't have that funniness to him. You know, it was more serious.
Serious. That's what I was figuring a little bit more like Captain America.
Well, except that again, we're talking. What I meant by the equivalent is that Tony Stark doesn't have any powers.
Oh,
it's just
right.
his money and his technology, and it's all that stuff that makes him the superhero.
Right.
But it's also he's that genius level character that Bruce Wayne is also supposed to be the same thing. If you've watched some of the comic or the animated series of Batman that they've released in the past few years, they do a way better job of pulling this off. There's one where Batman figures out he has a computer file of every single way to kill
the
every
animated
other
series in the 90s. That was a good one. That was a good show.
Well, even some of the recent ones have been good. Like I said, there's just one where he's got a computer file of every way to kill everybody in the Justice League, so that if any of them ever go rogue, he has a way to stop them. But it shows that intelligent side of him a lot better than I think these movies did. He was always relying on Fox to make everything for him or to help him solve things, you know.
That's funny, Phil.
I was gonna say Dax brings up a good point though with animated series too, and there should be an honorable mention for Kevin Conroy for being the voice of Batman for so long. Like that voice, you know, goes so much with that character and how well he's portrayed him.
It's like Hamill with the Joker.
You know, vocally. Yeah.
I mean, I think Hamill's that shit crazy, but he was one of the best voiced Jokers.
But still talented, right? Yeah. Yeah. I have to agree with A Troubled Green. She said that Bale just didn't carry the room the way that Bruce Wayne should. I just feel like every time he walked into a party, it was just a full-on cringe. Yeah, like almost like he's trying too hard or something like that.
Yeah, and I like what Ray Ron said. You know, he likes Bale as a theater Batman, as on true adaptation or adaptation. Of a detective Batman. Not really.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's supposed to be a detective, you know. So.
But it just, again, it seemed like he had too many of his own personal problems that they were constantly interfering with being Batman. And again, I know it's supposed to be a little bit more realistic, but I just felt like it started to get too much into this drama that made the iconic semblance of Batman become.
When did Batman, sad. When he was right, and when did Batman, when he started talking to Commissioner Gordon, when did he start disappearing all the time when Commissioner Gordon's still talking? I think that was just the Bale movies,
disrespect.
Right? Yeah.
I do like that one point though where he goes, "Oh, so that's how that feels." When Catwoman just disappeared when he was talking to her.
No, right.
Well, and the other thing, if you look at, like you were talking about, commanding a room or his attitude and the way he presented himself as Bruce Wayne. Remember when Ra's al Ghul showed up in the Wayne Manor and all the guests were there? First off, he didn't even want to come out to that party. And Alfred's like, "Look, this is your father's name too. Don't ruin it." Excuse me. So he finally goes out to the party, and then he insults everybody to kick him out, which is, I felt that was so out of place, even for a character of Bruce Wayne. Even if he had been in distress, he wouldn't have turned on those people like that.
He would have found a suave way to get everybody to leave. Yeah, that would have been his Tony Stark moment.
Yeah, exactly. And he in this iteration of the character, he just was like, "Okay, I'll just piss everybody off and insult everybody and kick them out.
See, we know Batman as the absolute Boy Scout, and this just doesn't like. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Again, the movies are well made, and I think people seem to be more drawn to the villains, at least, of course, Joker, than they were to Batman in of itself. Like, they like the story more than his actual character. And I have to agree. Like, I enjoy the movies. I'm not so fond of the grittiness. Again, it's just not my thing. I don't mind some grittiness, but not when I'm watching Batman. I just didn't want it to be like, if you will, an adult, gritty, dirty Batman. I like a whimsical, interesting Batman. I just didn't.
I like what Phil said. He loves Morgan Freeman as Fox.
Oh yeah.
Morgan Freeman can play anything.
Best.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the best actor of all time.
I mean, you got
in something.
Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks. We were talking about this the other day. Those are just iconic actors that could play any role just about. And
not Tom Hanks. I don't like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Tom Hanks is. You got to give him his credit for some of the roles he's.
Okay, some of the movies, yes, he's good in some of his movies, but yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not talking about as a person because, like I said, I think Chris Evans is nuts, but you couldn't have picked a better Cap.
Oh yeah.
And I love Captain America. I always have. It's my favorite comic growing up. You could not have picked a better Captain America, but again, Chris Evans is nuts.
Did you know he was what was it, Torch Man in Fantastic Four?
Right, nice crossover there.
It was so dumb. He didn't do a good job there. Tell you what. Yeah. Okay. Ray Ron says, yeah. He goes, actor yes. In real life, nope.
Yeah, I mean, that's most actors. You don't really like them for who they are necessarily as a person. You're more in love with their characters that they play most of the time.
Right.
And that's why they always say, don't meet your heroes, because then how many countless stories have we heard where fans go and they meet these people that we've, idolized for years. And it's like, oh, they're really not friendly people. So.
They're not really who they say they were.
And then there's Gina.
That's right. Good actress and good person.
And good person.
That's right.
Patriot.
That's right.
That's right.
Never.
Okay, so what do we think? Bale on Batman?
I think he did a good Batman.
But I don't think he did a good Batman.
I think he did.
Bruce Wayne.
I'll give him for Bruce Wayne. I'll stick to my guns. I like.
Dan, did you give a half a point?
A half a thumb.
Yes, you've infected him.
A half a thumb.
Oh.
You've corrupted the man.
I have.
Let's see here, and now everybody's favorite.
That's the danger of being foreign. They will corrupt you.
Batfleck. Okay. Ben Affleck.
I can tell you right now, me and Tabitha are going to go disagree on this, so I'm gonna go first.
All right, go ahead. Go first, Dax.
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman, but because we have migrated from the campy Batmans to Dark Knight, which was a different series, and now you've still got the darker versions. The whole Justice League is set up as a darker version of everything.
Why do dudes want everything to be so dark? Like, what is that? Is that just a guy thing?
It's a different take on it. The Man of Steel is not
I like to see the world
same as the
burn.
Superman series, and the Man of Steel was always much darker. And here's the thing that I think one of the biggest things they did when they screwed up in
Christopher Reeves was the best Superman. Just saying.
Well, absolutely, but still. You got to give Henry Cavill his props for being Superman.
I like Henry Cavill as an actor and as a person. I don't know. I don't like his Superman as much, but he does good.
But I think they missed out on a tremendous thing that I think would have made people like the Affleck character more. We don't know who the hell he is. I mean, you see in the one scene where they've got the suit of Robin, or which would have been Darkwing in this series, you see where they've got his suit and it's got Joker splashed across it. and it's in a glass case where Bruce Wayne is staring at it. So obviously, Joker killed his partner.
Right.
Well, why didn't we have that movie? Because
that would have been a cool movie.
If we don't have that movie, we don't know why this Batman is willing to take machine guns and mow people down to do whatever he thinks is necessary, where previous Batmans would not do that. What has clicked in this Batman that's changed him?
Batman.
I guess
and
I
it's
could
probably
see that,
the death of Robin, but we don't ever get to see it. So to me, the character, he played him well, but the character felt empty because there was no build up, there was no background to it. They just threw it all together so that they could build up to Justice League instead of doing what Marvel did, which was take the time to piece it out so that you understand and know every character, and then bring them together.
She says she does like Ben Affleck's Batman. Love the darker story. The stakes are higher, and I felt the weight of what was at stake.
Thank you, Elijah.
I mean, I guess I see where you're saying. Like, yeah, definitely. I guess because we've already had so many Batman movies, and they've stretched the length of time, and they've all kind of fluctuated on what they're trying to portray and what they're doing. Some are whimsical, some are comical, some are trying to be more serious. So yeah, I guess by the time I get around to Ben Affleck's Batman, and he was just another broken Batman with mommy issues. And
why did you say that name?
Oh my gosh, I was so mad in the movie theater when that happened. I was just like, really? Really? Exactly. And then when I heard that he was doing the same thing that Christian Bale was doing with this fake voice, that just really irritates me.
I like the fact that he had the voice modulation. Like he actually had something to mask it.
His voice is different. Yeah.
Yeah, like but I guess I don't know. I don't like it at all myself. I guess it definitely does.
Trouble
it's more
Green
practical.
Loves it, but they need a dang backstory.
I mean, it makes sense because obviously he's trying to hide his identity. But again, I guess just because it didn't seem to be a problem before, And again, Clark Kent with his glasses, it's okay, and nobody knows who he is. But all that kind of stuff. I honestly don't know why they feel like Batman needs to get bulkier and bulkier. Pretty soon, the guy's going to be the size of a sumo wrestler with all the muscles that he has, and I just don't get that. I think Batman should be a lean superhero.
Yeah, but. There's different Batmans.
But as Batman, I loved Ben Affleck. I mean, that's my favorite, just because. I mean, if you've ever read The Dark Knight Returns graphic novel, I mean, that is one of like the best. Jumping from the panel of a comic onto the big screen takes of Batman. I mean, he looks just like that. I love that. I was gonna say I kind of like seeing Batman built as a brick crap house. I mean, just being just massively bulky. It was cool because Batman's always been very, lean in comparison, and it's something entirely different. So I love that. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I wish we had gotten more of this Batman and a backstory. We're kind of seeing a Batman at the kind of the later end of his career.
Like he's broken. We don't know why.
We don't know why. And then like what happened to Wayne Manor. Yeah, what's happened with the Joker? What's happened with Robin?
Yeah, they don't say much about any of that.
Of course, I mean they were all saying the DC movies weren't really well planned out anyway.
No, I mean it's obvious that they weren't.
Yeah, DC was trying to play catch up with Marvel, and it was like.
Did you like Zack Snyder's Justice League movie?
I did. I mean, it was definitely. I got to watch it because we've got HBO Max, and it was a vast improvement over what we got. It's still, not the greatest movie there, and it's really long. I mean, for putting a 4-hour movie together,
it's like a TV show, isn't it? Because they got it cut in sections.
He gives it kind of like chapters or story names, I want to say, or parts. And so that way you can take a break if you're watching it. I mean, I watched it all in one fell swoop. It's, I think his actual vision for everything was definitely a lot better than what Warner was letting us get, and I kind of wish they let us kind of have at it. I think the way he was setting up the other characters was better than what we got in those individual movies too. But yeah, I mean, I love his Batman. I wish we could have got more of it.
Well, and I think too that
his Bruce Wayne is. Well, I was just going to say his Bruce Wayne. We never really get to see him as like a true Bruce Wayne, other than in that opening. Because any other time he's Bruce Wayne, he's just around the Justice League. So
yeah, and DC has that problem with all of its characters. The only one they actually built up were Superman and Wonder Woman. And the rest of the cast of Justice League, I mean, okay, Aquaman got his own movie that was decent, but the rest of the cast of Justice League, it's just like they're thrown in there, including Batman, and you don't have any connection to them. And that's the one thing that Marvel did. They planned it out. They took their time. They built off of each iteration of each character, and they would insert connectivity between those characters. And DC was at a panic because DC was losing money, and they were like, "Let's just, we got to get out the Justice League." And all you had to back that up at the time were Man of Steel and the original Wonder Woman, and nothing else. And two movies.
And I wish they did the Marvel route too.
Yeah, they missed such a huge opportunity there.
They did. They did.
So I don't know. I would give Affleck a thumbs up for Batman.
He did a good Batman. His looks, I liked his looks. You know,
and a half thumb for Bruce Wayne.
And Bruce Wayne,
like R2 said, we didn't get enough. We don't know his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
right. It's just like George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. Hey, George, you watching this? You should be.
He's too busy smelling his money and, you know, sitting by the beach or something like that.
Probably
on his yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah. The perfect.
Okay.
Bye, Jedi.
I don't know why. What?
Bye, Jedi.
Jedi's going to bed.
Well, he said there's another stream.
Oh, there's as much.
Somebody better than Tabitha, Jedi?
What?
That's not what he said. He just has other people. I mean, and that's Tabitha approves. That's
to go around. He said there's much shrimping to go around. I hope you all have a wonderful stream.
Have a good night, Jedi.
Yeah. Thank you, Jedi Knight.
Elijah, we didn't get any of his personality in these films. None at all. So there's just no way to measure how his Bruce Wayne would have been because we don't see that side of him other than, when he's spying on Batman or trying to figure out who the Justice League is. That's all you get.
Yeah. What did
they're spying on Superman.
Trouble Green said?
She said that she wants to see him be that playboy.
With a woman on each arm. I mean, he just didn't have the joie de vivre, you know? He just didn't have the suaveness to, I don't think, to be very good. Again, like we didn't really get much of a time to build the story, but I don't think personally Ben Affleck for either one, Batman or Bruce Wayne, was just really I just don't think he's sophisticated enough to be Bruce Wayne.
I don't know. I think he's got that GQ look about him, and I think he could have pulled it off.
Ben Affleck,
had he been given the chance.
Yeah. Possibly. I guess we'll never know.
I kept
seen
Ben
Affleck in the movie Dogma?
I've seen snippets. He's
quite. He's
How do we have
chubby.
18 people watching and only 11 likes? Come on, guys.
What?
No, I got 17 over here.
What the?
Oh, we get it up
to 17.
I don't see nothing.
Are you?
Here, I'm gonna even. Oh, now it's it went down.
I see 16.
Oh no, it went down to 17.
It went down.
I see 17.
Oh, there we go. We got 17.
18 now. It went up to 18.
Okay.
I kept on waiting for Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne to hit on Martha Kent,
Woman.
and then for You know,
That was
and
not
like,
where I thought you were
and like
going.
when Superman came back for him to be like, I'm your new dad now.
That was totally not the route I thought that was going at all.
You're gonna kill him off. I believe it. So,
But okay, you gotta admit
What-
though that the Martha thing was just so weak.
it was.
And Amy Adams has to run in to save the day. Why did he say that name? It's his
Yeah.
mother. It's like, oh, come on.
That's what I'm saying. They took Batman and made him into this broken person that needs constant therapy.
Yeah,
you know? And that's just doesn't. I mean,
an emo
again,
kid. He's
you
emo.
know, not Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale and Ben Affleck. They may have been like, I just couldn't get past that personally. The voice change
The
and
emo
then
thing.
the personal issues. I just couldn't respect them as their characters. And again, they're both good actors. I just couldn't.
I would say,
respect
but
them
we
as
can't
those
really
issues.
blame that so much on the actor. That's on the
Right.
That's
No,
a writing
I'm just saying,
issue.
as the characters that they played, as
Yeah.
those characters, I can't respect them as Bruce Wayne because I didn't think that they pulled it off very well. I don't, we already covered that. But yeah, both good actors. I don't want to discredit their
That's like,
talent.
I think Margot Robbie plays the absolutely spot on perfect Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't
she
blame
does.
her for Birds of Prey.
I haven't seen it, so.
Oh God. Well, you're okay then.
It's bad. I heard.
Yeah.
So.
I
I
was
like what
bored
Phil
with it.
says. He thinks that Superman's death should not have been in Batman versus Superman. He thinks it should have been in Justice League.
Yeah, that all felt very rushed. Again, I think
It
that's-
was all
like
rushed.
Jack said, right?
especially-
They were just
that was Affleck's first Batman, wasn't it? Movie. So
Yeah.
it was really rushed. They should have done Batman versus Superman after a couple of Batman or like a Batman movie because they already had a Superman movie. They should have kind of made it so
Build up all the characters. Give us the
build
whole
it up.
suite. Give
Yeah.
us Cyborg. Give us Flash. Give us
Flash.
Aquaman.
I like that Flash too. That he seems
Ezra
like
Miller?
a good guy. Yeah, he did
Yeah.
a good job.
He seems
Yeah,
like
in real
funny.
life.
now.
like Tom-
I
in
will
real
say
life, I don't care about him, but
the Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League does a lot. It does a lot more justice for Cyborg because, like, I hated Cyborg in the theatrical cut, and I was like, "This is such a terrible character. Like, why didn't you get Green Lantern?" But he is much more.
Because Ryan Reynolds.
He's got much better He's got a much better character arc in that Zack Snyder cut, and it is a lot better character. But even now, too, it sounds like they're not going to do a Cyborg movie just because of the issues with that actor in the studio.
Well, and it's just a shame that we see this a lot in Hollywood today. They don't have vision like they used to.
Yeah.
They don't have forethought. Look, I mean, oh my God! I just saw today that they. I don't know if y'all follow Nerd Cookies on YouTube. If you don't follow Nerd Cookies on YouTube, everybody should go look her up. She's awesome. Does all types of pop culture stuff. Bye, Alasia. She's great.
Have a good
But
workout.
She just
Thanks for
posted a
showing up.
video that they are going to remake, and it's already in process, Babylon 5.
Okay.
And it's
What's
like,
that?
okay, this is a niche sci-fi show.
I know what it is, but I never watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Like I know about it, but I've never seen it.
It's a niche sci-fi show that was one of the best sci-fi shows in the early 2000s, late 90s. It is such a classic and has such a cult following.
Yeah.
That it's like, guys, leave stuff like this alone because it's going to be on the CW. I'm just saying that's where shows go to die. And
right.
It's going to be
Michael J.
trash.
Straczynski.
Yeah.
Created that.
It's going to be be woke trash because that's all the CW can produce.
CW. I love it.
I mean, look at the smash hits they've got now. Batwoman and
Diking out on someone else. That's so freaking. Why would they even
Super-
show that crap? That stuff makes me upset.
and Supergirl. That was just trash too.
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
think
it.
they've had a good hit show in since the company was founded. I don't
The first 2-3 seasons of Flash, I did
What?
enjoy
They're having
it.
another Willy Wonka? Ray Ron, is this true?
And
Are they really doing another Willy Wonka movie?
Why not? They're running out of ideas because they keep doing the same thing over.
And then I was gonna say, like, I like the first 2 or 3 seasons of Legends of Tomorrow, but yeah, they all just
and Arrow wasn't bad when it started, but
yeah, then it just kind of went into this drama of, oh, I should sleep with this girl, or no, I'm in love with that woman, and it's just like,
No,
I
they
can't
shouldn't be
watch.
doing that stuff. Yeah, that's so stupid.
It's like if you want to write a romance drama, write a romance drama. If you want to write a comic
don't do it
superhero movie, write a comic superhero movie.
Yeah, don't put it all together. And if you want, yeah, exactly.
Oliver Quinn's problem was like, oh gosh, I'm so troubled and I'm so handsome. I just can't pick the right woman. Ugh. And it's just like, get over yourself. I can't. I know it's not the actor's fault, but it's like the writers. What do you think? It's like a soap opera with superheroes.
Tim Talks says, I never seen Babylon. Did they ever find baby named Lon? Anyways.
I didn't know Tim was a dad.
I don't know what that means, but let me tell you what.
Tim might not know either. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a dad joke if I ever heard one right there.
Question. Most people know that, we are Christians here. So, and why do people call things Babylon? Like, wasn't Babylon a bad place? So
no. Hold on.
Well,
the reason it was called Babylon 5 is because it was a meeting place where all these races, different species would come together. So it was named as in Babylon.
Different languages,
Babylon
things like that.
was supposed to be, a place where everybody's going to come together and build the tower so they can reach God. And then he scattered them.
Yeah.
So, but it was all these different cultures came from Babylon.
Right.
So they named it Babylon as all these different cultures coming together.
Everybody talking different languages to scatter them.
And the Babylon stations were stations where all kinds of different alien species would come together and could have like councils to decide on matters and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was kind of a political thing. It was a space UN.
Okay.
That actually did something. Not like our UN.
Dan was like, is the Illuminati behind this?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, I mean, what about that show Babylon B? Or
the site?
Not show.
The site.
Yeah. Babylon B is hilarious.
Hilarious.
I don't see how people like them. I can't get into it. I look at stuff
my
and
gosh.
I'm like,
I think it's funny. It's a parody account.
It's satire. Yeah, it's parody.
Well, it's not satire anymore. They're printing like real news
now they're
stories.
Prophecies. Yeah.
Right.
That's what they're doing. They're prophetical posts.
Yeah,
it's sad when you can't tell what is satire and what is a real news story
anymore.
Nowadays,
yeah.
it's
Tim's talk. I understand your joke now.
Oh,
Babylon, baby, Lon. Yes.
Okay.
I get it.
That's why I said it was a dad joke. I got what he was saying.
I didn't
That's
get
why
it.
we were saying he might even not realize he's a dad.
Thanks,
that was the
Phil.
dad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one I guess is Sparkly Vampire Batman.
We don't really know much about that, do we?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have much faith in it because
I've
just kind of
Ray-Ron.
given up on any kind of current superhero movies anymore. They've just Hollywood in the last 6 years has just decided to just kind of.
I hope it's good, but I'm not excited for it.
I want it to be good, but I'm not excited for it. I've just kind of moved on, and it's just
I guess
okay.
It's not necessarily. I don't want to say I'm not excited. I'm not pumped for it though. I could kind of.
I'll give him the benefit of a doubt. I'll give him a chance to prove himself because I've seen so many movies where somebody they cast the role with some actor, and I'm like, you only know him for like Rob Pattinson. He's mainly known for being Edward on Twilight, but he has done other films, and he is a pretty decent actor. But just thinking of him as Batman, it's like.
Well,
but
then again,
look
what happened with Michael Keaton. Look what happened with Heath Ledger, right? And those are two casting choices that people groaned at and were like, and they were successes.
I
Whether
think
you know,
they make a good Bruce Wayne. I don't know about Batman though.
I think with the photos though, if you look at the photos, he looks pretty stellar in that bat costume that they remade for him. So,
but I just don't know how he'll be as Batman.
Well, right. I understand, but
well, have you heard the controversy over the Catwoman that's coming up with it?
Yeah, don't fetishize Catwoman.
Yeah,
they're making another Catwoman.
No. Zoe Kravitz.
Oh,
yeah. That's who
they fetishize her.
Aquaman's stepdaughter being.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But she doesn't.
Totally right. I didn't think about that.
She doesn't want Catwoman to be seen as a sexualized character.
Well, that's not up to her. People are into weird things. Like you can't dictate what people are into.
That's not Catwoman.
Yeah,
either.
and
Catwoman was always the sexualized character who.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Eartha Kitt. I mean, they enhanced that. Yeah,
wait! You left out Halle Berry.
But even in the comics,
well, the Halle. Well, I like Halle Berry, but that movie was weird.
I mean, where she's licking herself and
Catwoman fights the makeup industry.
I know. The plot, like, what's she doing? Taking on L'Oreal? I mean,
yeah,
that was a weird movie.
Apparently, she's not born with it.
Halle Berry, yeah, it's a bad.
No,
movie.
I think that Zoe Kravitz is going to be Catwoman, from what I read in the article, in one of the upcoming Batman movies, but she doesn't want her character to be seen as a sexualized character. It's like, okay, then don't play Catwoman. I don't know what to tell you, because that's what Catwoman was. She used her sex appeal to get her way and to pull off the crimes. Even in the ones we were just talking about, when you look at how Anne Hathaway played Catwoman, well, what did she do? She was flirting with Bruce Wayne and knocked the cane out from under him and took off. She used her sex appeal to get the senator. It's just, that's the character.
Yeah. I mean, I think she did a good job, doing both, being the, if you will, being the sexual icon, and then also being, just speaking on this way, and being the intelligent woman. Like she merged them really well. So I felt like she could please both audiences, basically. But
and why do so many people think you can't be both nowadays? I don't understand that. It's like, if you're sexy, you can't
pity the fool.
This brilliant scientist or something, right? It's like, why can't you be both?
Right. Yeah, there's this stigma.
Those
where
comments
it's like
are just for chasing clout, though. I mean, that's all it is. It's a virtue signal. It's to get clout.
Because again, like, you can't dictate
Robert Downey's an attractive man, and he was a brilliant. Tony Stark was an attractive man and a brilliant scientist at the same time.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's right. Robert Downey
I think when people do that with female characters, they really sell short women in general. They're acting like they're trying to empower women and white knight for women, but they really sell the character short, because what you're saying is a woman can either be a sex symbol or she can be a brilliant scientist. There's no possibility.
There's a divide, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it has to be one or the other.
You can't be smart and beautiful at the same time. It just doesn't work that way.
But you can.
Or you can't be beautiful and strong either, or smart and strong. Sometimes it's like you look at some of the, and I posted a funny video the other day. Some of these the female roles nowadays. Like, if you threw Gina Carano in, I don't know if y'all seen any of her movies, like In the Blood or Daughter of the Wolf or anything, where she does a lot of physical hand-to-hand combat. A lot of the stuff that she does looks believable.
Right.
But that's because Gina's built and she's a fighter and she knows what to do it. But then you're going to have
like a
Natalie
skinny,
Portman
tiny
playing Thor. Yeah, and kicking all these people's butts playing Thor. It's just like, okay, I'm sorry, that's not believable. Natalie Portman is 90 pounds.
Right.
A strong breeze would knock her over.
Rayron says, or
She's going to be
manly.
taking on all these, huge dudes or whatever. It's just, if you're going to write a strong female that's a fighter, write her realistically. Look, Xena Warrior Princess back there. Lucy Lawless was fit and she was big. And she pulled it off.
Yeah.
But
she was beautiful and strong. Like, I mean, like she was a very tall and buff woman, but a lot of men were attracted to her, and she was a little, even back then, she's a little bit more believable, just because, like you said, the size, like it worked,
And even like, I hate this whole thing about the whole idea of strong female characters nowadays. Because you go back in time and you can look at so many good ones that you can point out. There's Ripley, there's
Sarah Connor.
There's
I'll be back, guys. Keep talking.
Okay.
There's Leeloo Dallas, and if anybody doesn't know that reference, shame on all of you.
Multipass.
Well, there's Linda Carter. I mean,
Well, and then you go to y'all haven't seen Battlestar, but you go to characters like there's a character in Battlestar named Starbuck. She's the best pilot. She's the best shot, but she's horribly broken, has all kinds of issues. And that is one of the most well-written characters I've ever seen because she's arrogant, she's hot-headed, and then you see at times the softer side of her, the sentimental side of her. But hands down, she's one of the baddest characters in the whole show because of her skills. And that's how you write a good female character. And I know a lot of people don't like Wonder Woman 84, but if you look at how they wrote Diana's character in that movie, it shows that she can be selfish. She can be, make mistakes. She can be weak and be hurt because she's losing her powers, obviously, but still, she has to struggle with her own selfishness to make the right decision in that movie. Now, there are so many other problems with that movie that I don't even want to go into, but just the fact that they wrote her character well in the movie, and just the rest of it was surrounded by a bunch of stupidity. But you can write a good female character that doesn't have to be perfect, and can actually suffer and sacrifice and show weakness. Because if you don't have a character that has some kind of weakness, what do you have to root for?
Right. It's hard to get attached to them because, I mean, I think there's a fine line there. Again, it's like if you make them too, I think it's just, I don't know, maybe again, like when we're going back to the Batman movies and I was saying that, it kind of makes them seem kind of wussy. Maybe it's because, we do have a stereotype or not a stereotype, an expectation of strong male characters. I guess this could be in the reverse. We don't expect men to necessarily show their feelings and show their struggles. And so it just seems like when you have this, battle hardened, warrior guy, and he's, having,
a mental struggle.
And I mean, I know those are real things, but I think honestly, just the way, I don't have a problem with, with a person as a character having a struggle to reach for, because again, it's something that you love about them in a way, because there is an aspect of realism. I just don't think they did it well, in my opinion, with the other ones, because it seemed like that was all he was ever fixated on, and he never seemed to make progress. I think that was my hang up, is that he didn't make progress. Whereas, with like Wonder Woman, you can see where, she's trying to, like you said, overcome, be better, I think that was what it really, if I wanted to pinpoint it, that's what it would be about. But yeah, I guess there's just this thing where I think ever since like the 60s and the 70s television with women, they were always, a lot of times like in Star Trek and things like that, they were just the sex icons, and they were dainty, and there was only a handful of women that were intelligent or could do something. And even though actual TV progressed, and women became, again, like, Sigourney Weaver's characters and things like that, they became stronger and everything. People, for whatever reason, just fixated on the old mindset and think that it still exists today, but it clearly doesn't. But for some reason, we just need to cultivate that, because we're just, we're women and we're mad, and we're just going to stay that way. because of equality.
Well, have you ever seen the show Legend of the Seeker?
Yes. Well, I saw the
Kaylin
first. I saw the first season.
Kaylin Amnell
Mm-hmm.
was one of the best written characters I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
She was at times scarier than Richard Dreyfuss in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she went, into her confessor mode, she had enormous amounts of power. Yeah, she had enormous amounts of power. But at the same time, she really embodied that feminine, the character was just so well done.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like people say, "Oh, you don't like strong female characters." That's probably one of my favorite characters of any TV show I can recall.
Well, when people say strong female characters, I don't think they know what they're talking about when they say strong female characters, because some people think that means, people that are able to be exactly like muscular, strong female characters. Well, there's a mental, strength that comes with that, as well as physical strength. We're all wired differently. When you say strong female characters, it's like, what does that even mean?
Well, look at Ripley. She was the only one to survive that ship. Well, she was the only female to survive that ship, and all the Marines got killed, and everything else. Why? It wasn't because she was buff.
You know what they say?
Or whatever.
Behind a strong man is a stronger woman.
Well, what makes Ripley a great character, and even like Sarah Connor, and the thing that I like about those is there's never a moment. Nobody is never telling them that they can't do anything because they are a woman. Mm. Nobody ever says that to them. Like that. That's the thing that's like really old and irritating too at this point with all these female characters now. There's always that moment of, it's
you mean Captain America? I mean, you mean Captain? Oh my God, I can't believe
Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Okay,
Captain Marvel. I
have to leave the stream now. I have to go.
I was like Captain America. He didn't do anything.
Like that. Oh my God!
I was like Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Yeah. I mean, like that whole, and it goes nowhere too. Those flashbacks of like essentially, being told she can't do anything because she's a woman and it's so heavy-handed. It's the stupidest thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, like. I never look at women like that. I never, look at those characters like, oh, they can't do it because they're a woman. I mean, even Black Widow, there's never a moment in the Marvel movies where they're like, oh, you can't do it because you're a woman.
Well, hold on. I think there's one.
Right.
There's one moment when she walks in and Tony's like, can I get one of those? And she gets in the ring with Happy. And Happy's like, oh, I'll show you what to do.
Well, he's like showing what to do, but
bam. And he's on
but it's not like he's like.
It was an underestimation.
It was. He underestimated her. It wasn't like he's like, what are you doing in here? Yeah, he wasn't girl can't be in here. He was like, okay. He's like, yeah, come on in. Let me show you how to do this. Like he was trying to be helpful because she's this tiny little woman. But yeah, that was not chauvinistic at all. That was underestimating his Tabitha. Everything.
What I missed when I was gone. I have no idea what we're talking about right now.
We were just talking about strong women, basically the same thing that don't really know why people keep complaining, because strong women have been in cinema for years and years and different ways, because even if you go back into like the 1940s and the 1950s and you had like Hattie Lamar and all that kind of stuff, they played a different kind of strong woman.
It's Hedley Lamar. I'm sorry. It's a Blazing Saddles reference.
I was like, well, don't yell at, he's yelling at me because I'm a woman. But it
Blazing Saddles reference, sorry.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's okay. I butcher names all the time.
But it's kind of like you were saying before, they were strong in their mental capacity because they were using their sensuality to seduce the men in order to achieve what they wanted. And that wasn't a weakness. That
like Kamala Harris.
Just like in Batman.
That was a sign of, it's really a sign of brilliance. Now it's wicked and it's immoral, but seducing a man to gain, Anne Boleyn did this back in history. We don't even have to look at fictional characters. We can look at real characters.
Cleopatra.
They changed the course of history by playing to, if you will, the man's lower nature, just to get to where they wanted to. Yeah, they didn't really get the credit, but that was the price they paid to get what they wanted.
That's a
And
joke.
a lot of women do that. They will forego the credit just simply to get what they wanted. Of course, nowadays, women don't understand. Like, that's what, if you will, and I'm speaking like as far as evil women. Like, this is not something
Chelsea Handler.
you just
Tabitha's on a rant tonight.
Another good example.
I'm just saying, it's like, sometimes in order to get what you want, you don't get the praise. And that is a sign of real intelligence in a lot of ways. I mean, that is how a manipulative and brilliant evil mastermind of a woman works. You don't want to be in the spotlight, because then people know who's really behind the scenes. I'm just saying, we learned this from history. You can learn this from films. It's just now we're like, oh, women deserve to be in the spotlight because they're so equal. Well, women have been equal for many, many years. It's just that they play the game differently. And that's what people, for whatever reason, don't want to accept, because women and men are different. And so it's like, I mean, if you have a Catwoman that's like, one of these blue-haired Karens, she's not going to be very interesting, and she's not going to get the job done, because Catwoman works in secret. She plays, under the table, if you will. Like, it's just, anyway, carry on.
Well, no, I mean, I think you're perfectly right, is that they discount some of the achievements that have been made by women in film.
God bless your mother, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, well, this is the first time we've seen this kind of character in film.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. And second, the kind of character that you wrote just bombed, because nobody likes that character. Nobody likes a character. I mean, we'll go back to the sequel trilogy. Ray is a Mary Sue, and a bunch of people don't like her because she's boring. She never really has to struggle. She never really has to earn anything. She doesn't suffer. She doesn't sacrifice. Even when she makes a mistake, it turns out to be a good mistake.
Why so serious?
The character is just bad. And it's not that Daisy Ridley's bad, because I've seen her in other things that I've liked her in. Mm-hmm. It's just a poorly written character.
Yeah, she had potential. She could have been so much better. Yeah.
Well, do you know that originally she was supposed to be Luke's daughter? That he had gone away, and originally the game plan was she was supposed to be Luke's daughter, and then she worked to redeem Luke, like he had worked to redeem Anakin. Which would have been a much better plot. Because the whole movie series.
Why did Ruin Johnson ruin everything?
Was about
I'm gonna go burn his house down.
Legacy.
Because he worked for Disney.
Well, yeah, but even that doesn't excuse his sacrilege.
I just like to watch the world burn.
But it would have been a much better story, because it was about the redemption of the father, like the original series was to begin with.
Right.
And you could have had so much potential with that. But no, they wanted to.
They just wanted to put her in front of a bunch of mirrors and look at herself in the front and in the back, and it was weird. And it was like, what am I looking at? Am I stoned? Am I on drugs?
She's never flown a spaceship before, and she gets in the Millennium Falcon and flies it better than Han Solo. And she doesn't know anything about the Force, and then Kylo does some stupid mind trick on her, and now she can control everybody. And everything was so easy for her, and the character was boring.
Yeah, exactly, and it didn't make her a strong female. It really didn't at all.
You know what makes you strong is earning something.
Release the Luke. That's right, Tim.
Release the Lucas cut. Yes.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, and now Disney's talking about going back and reimagining the original series.
I heard about that.
I'm like, no, please. Let that comet come and hit us before this happens.
They're just trying to alienate us.
Yeah, that's all right. Whatever. But you know, in the long run, everybody will still love Star Wars because of
the originals,
where they watched it, what they watched, and even though they hate what Disney's doing, you still have the originals. You still can watch back. You still can
Well,
talk about Star Wars. You still,
now
and
Disney suddenly said that they're going to go back to the original.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now they're going to try to undo
reimagine it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, even that, I mean, you can do that, but nobody's going to watch it.
Nobody's going to watch
it.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
Hey, they can do whatever they want. They got the money. We ain't got
Stop giving them
money.
permission.
Anyways, listen. They can do that, but it doesn't mean we'll watch it. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly. Our hearts will still always be with the original.
Yeah, and we have the DVDs. We have the Blu-rays. We have, we don't have to watch what they put out.
Right.
We got our own because we bought it when we were younger.
Well, and that's like one of the other ones I heard the other day is that they want to go back and redo the Never-Ending Story, and I'm like, stop. That's when I get in a car and drive to Hollywood and plant explosives
dog
some
that flies in the air.
They're going to make that movie so unbearable to watch. I mean, it was already rough to begin with, the original. I don't know how I made it out as a sane adult, to be honest with you, but I can't imagine that they would do that movie. I mean, I'm sure the graphics and everything would be beautiful and lovely, but it's just not the same. It's just not going to be the same.
Right? Has anybody watched that? What was it? What's his name? Puffy the Magic Dragon, the new one. Has anyone watched the
Magic Dragon? Yeah.
I didn't know they did it.
My son went and saw it. I didn't go see it because I was afraid.
No, I didn't watch it, and I probably never will, unless I have to do like a review on it or something. But I wouldn't watch it because why change it? Why change what was already there? And what kids loved back then.
That's my whole thing about all this redo, reboot, remake crap.
Yeah, like the Lion King. No, let's make it real. What's up with that?
And it was like the same movie. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, that's why there's that ride.
Except there were some beats that were missing. That's why. If you watch the Lion King movie, the live action with live
action
animated.
where nothing was real.
Yeah, exactly.
The animated live action version.
Right, the animated.
Anyways, if you watch that, you can tell there's some beats that are missing in that movie that it makes you like, wait a minute, what about this? What about that? How come it was in the original and now it's not in it? They took some things out that I was like, that's so stupid. Why would they take it out?
You know what the original plan was before they did The Lion King and the Jungle Book live action?
What was that?
Jon Favreau was going to do a movie called The Magic Kingdom, and it was going to be about that at nighttime, Disney World came alive. So I think like a Night at the Museum, but it was going to take place at the Orlando theme parks.
See, that would have been cool.
My God, that would have been such an awesome movie.
Stupid. Look, that would have been dumb because they got the Night at the Museum and they got Toy Story. They're just putting it together.
I know, but it would have been interesting to see like the whole.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to watch. Yeah, of course, but I think it would have been a dumb concept, like a dumb story.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. Disney, put that out. Put out
better.
Yeah, that's right.
No, all Disney cares about
what do you want to call that?
taking...
Hashtag put out the come to life
Magic
Disney
Kingdom.
World. I don't know. Magic Kingdom, yeah.
Jon Favreau's Magic Kingdom. He was going to do it.
Right. There you go.
But now all Disney cares about is taking old stuff that we love and destroying it somehow.
Destroying it. They just care about the money, even though they're losing money. That's what I don't understand
like
from
Fly
a
the
business
Navigator.
aspect.
That's what
The
they
Rocketeer, Sword in the Stone is another one.
Well, but Sword in the Stone is really
Fly
just
to
a
the
King
Navigator.
Arthur version, so it's
I
like
know, but still.
there's already a billion, if you will, versions of Sword in the Stone because it's all about King Arthur anyway. So
I have a sword and chainmail.
Dan.
I got it. Yes.
Dan's been in makeup too long. That's what it is.
Is there lead in that makeup?
He inhaled too much of the makeup.
No, it's just weird looking at myself.
Well,
hello, everybody.
It's not your. I hope it's not your normal every day. So
That's right. Normal every day. Dan Joker Dan.
The sad thing is, I just think nowadays Hollywood is as creatively bankrupt as they are morally bankrupt, and
Oh yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
getting anything decent out of them for a while.
By the way, this hairspray stuff that they say is non-chemical or whatever, it smells just like spray paint, and it feels like you got spray paint.
It hardens.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Don't try it at home, kids. It's disgusting.
I appreciate Dan's dedication. Like, he will do it. I don't know. He will do it for the
just
viewers.
gonna wear this shirt.
Dan wanted me to dress up tonight. He was like, "Hey, do you think you could be the Riddler or the Penguin?" And I'm like, I don't have either of those things lying around.
I know. He messaged me like 30 minutes before church, and I'm like, I'm going to have barely enough time when I come back from church to do it.
I was like, I have knives and I have guns. I could be Victor's ass or I could be Deadshot if you would like.
Be that. Anyway, that. But like Penguin is what? You got a hat and then you got an umbrella. You go.
Well, and
you're looking at the only types of hats that I have, by the way.
I don't
baseball
think any
hats.
of us are annoying enough to be the new Lex Luthor, by the way.
What? Who's the Lex Luthor?
I said I don't think any of us are annoying enough to be the new Lex Luthor.
No, just shave your head bald and you'll be fine.
No, I'm talking about the crazy.
Is it Jesse Eisenberg's character?
Yeah,
that comedic kid. That's like
the crazy almost
Zombie Land. He's in Zombie Land.
I was gonna say Mark Zuckerberg.
I did. Yeah. He looks like Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? What?
Well, that's all I see him as too. I'm like, it's Mark Zuckerberg as Lex Luthor.
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
What? Why the heck did they even cast him as Lex Luthor? I thought that was a horrible choice.
They wanted to have somebody that was like the exact opposite of Superman, right? Though.
But it wasn't even just the casting; it was the writing too.
Well, he's somebody said like his
had to be
his.
Go ahead.
Who is it? He's based off of some writer in Hollywood, like in his personality. I can't think of who it is right now.
Yeah, but
I almost said Max Brooks,
looking for,
but it's not that.
I guess he wanted the kryptonite, but it's not like the real Lex Luthor always looking for kryptonite.
No,
always
but
chasing
Lex
it down.
Lex Luthor was supposed to be a criminal mastermind.
Yeah,
I mean, a genius level character. This guy
put
was
you two together and you kill each other. Woohoo! Go for it.
Yeah, it
was stupid. It was the
Tabitha, I have to comment. You look so cool with the two different lights tonight because you turn your face one way, it goes completely blue. It just looks cool. Good effect.
Yeah, I was, like I said, because of the fact that I'm a fan of, those two Batman films, I'm like, I'm going to go with the stupid, dramatic, colors.
It looks a little Two-Face and it looks a little Harley Quinn.
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, too. I've got the reddish hair because I was kind of going for a Poison Ivy kind of vibe with my green stuff. But then I was like, I can also get the Two-Face Harley Quinn.
You should have brought a bunch of plants to sit behind you for the Poison Ivy thing.
Well, I was just going to say that...
I only have the one. You could have brought
if you guys ever review Braveheart, Tabitha should do that, too, because then she could be like William Wallace with his half-blue painted face.
You just paint your face half blue. We did.
Oh, did you guys do that? Okay.
Was it a review or was it a Rumble? I don't remember. I think it was a Rumble.
It was a Rumble because we did the Patriot, the Braveheart, and
the card game one.
Maverick.
That one might be worth going back and watching. I'll have to go look that one up.
Yeah, that was probably before I discovered you guys. Then
that's right. It was one of my earlier days. I have some strong opinions in those films too. It's
What?
It's actually
strong opinions now.
Well, stronger. It's David was on board, and that's where the campfire jokes started coming.
Yeah,
around.
it is. It is. Yep. That's the campfires. Hey. My son made me this little. I don't know if you can see it.
Is it a bag? What is it?
It's you can't see it good on this camera. He drew a campfire fire, and then he put on there, "You are on fire."
Oh,
I don't know.
That's sweet.
Too much light, too close. It's too close to the light when you hold it up there.
It's glowing.
Yeah.
It's like Dan's lightsaber. It has like
Yeah.
that real effect to it. It's cool.
That's right. Yeah, let me get one of them. Since we're not talking about Batman anymore, right?
We were just talking about Lex Luthor, so we kind of were.
I mean, it's kind of in the vein. Get Dan going. See, when we stop talking about the topic, we're supposed to just stop the show. But Dan's like, "Let me show you my toys."
Here you go. I got a Kylo Ren. Tim, look at this. I don't have a cool one like yours. Mine is the fling.
Oh. Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow to it.
It's not even bright.
It's a good laugh, Dan.
Thank you. I think the batteries just died on me.
Oh.
Sweet.
No wonder it wasn't bright.
I had so many jokes that aren't appropriate for this stream, so I'm just going to not say them.
Appreciate it, Dex. Put it in the comment section below.
What's that?
Nothing? What?
What?
Well, it is funny that Dan has his 3 moderators on as guests.
I know it.
None of us are paying attention to the chat. The chat's going wild.
Anybody could be saying anything right now, or just watching Dan play with toys.
Oh, well, we're desperate. We was hit up for hard times there.
I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi.
Oh, copyright? No.
Right. Too much talking.
Dan. It's pretty cool how it glows, though.
It is. I think this was the best glowing one. You're taking the first step into a larger world. That's right,
Aren't
everybody.
we all?
This one glows the best, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I love how in the camera it has the aura around it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
It looks
exactly.
so awesome.
I mean, it looks legit. Except for when it bends.
Except that the frame rate can't keep up and it bends back and forth.
That's right.
You want to see my pen turn into rubber? All right.
See, that doesn't work as well as the lightsaber.
It doesn't. This one is.
Damn.
I'll make this pen disappear. Goodbye.
Oh, I made
I
it
have a
reappear.
fidget spinner. I can show you guys that.
I bet you I can't do that again. It just landed in that cup.
That looks pretty cool. Looks like a Mandela.
I'll try it again. I can make this pencil disappear.
Dan, what you been smoking today?
It's that makeup.
It's the hair.
It's the fumes.
You usually hear about kids huffing paint. Well, Dan's doing it on accident.
Either that or I was going to say, is that THC based makeup?
I have no idea.
He hasn't been going for snacks yet, so
That's
it's
right.
probably not that.
Ray Ron, what if the Joker was a Sith Lord? That would be fun.
It'd be interesting because the Sith are always so serious. And so it'd be
Why
interesting
so-
to have...
Why so serious?
Right, and it would be interesting to have this kind of whimsical but sadistic kind of...
And laughing at everybody?
Yeah, that would have been interesting, to be sure. Very out of character for a Sith Lord, for sure.
Why so serious?
If you think about it, I don't think that the Batman villains would fit very well in any other genre of villainy.
Power
They're
Rangers.
so quirky,
Yeah.
and they have so many little idiosyncrasies about them that it's just such unusual, uncommon villains and stuff like that.
That's true.
They're even worse. I mean, they're even more odd than some of the other comic villains you see.
Mhm.
Batman's
Who
universe
you
had
talking
some
about?
the Batman universe and the villains. It had some really unique villains.
Man Bat would have been a cool costume for somebody to wear tonight.
Man Bear Pig.
No, Man-Bat.
Man-Bat.
You know that villain, right? He looks like a bat, and he just walks around like a man.
And he's a man.
Yeah, that's right. Man, that's why they call him Man-Bat instead of Batman.
I can tell none of y'all watch South Park though, because nobody got the Man-Bear.
No, I don't.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I used to watch South Park until they went
Rogue. I don't know. I've never watched it.
You didn't see my hand gesture, Tabitha?
No.
She's making something.
I was busy making. I was going to make some like bat ears, like for Man-Bat ears, but.
Oh, there you go. Wonderful.
I'm doing some arts and crafts here, Dan. I don't know what we're doing.
Let's do it live so everybody can watch you.
No,
do a drawing.
Hey, she has an art stream. You can go watch her live.
That's right. Watch all
I've never actually gone
live.
I've thought about going live with some of my paintings, but
that would be interesting. People would just sit there, watch you paint for 2 hours. That'd be cool.
I have to admit, until I started following Anna a few years ago, and then you, I don't think I've ever watched art streams of any kind before.
Oh,
really?
Bob Ross?
Anna, well, I guess that wasn't a stream back then.
Well, yeah.
Anna got me hooked on it because she's an incredibly good artist, and I just don't understand how y'all can start from like a couple of lines, and then know where to put the color. When I'm like, what is? I'll watch it. I'm like, what is she doing? What? And then it all takes shape. And my mind does not work that way.
Well, some of it's instinctual. A lot of it, though, is just practice.
Yeah, and it is practice. And you got to remember too, a lot of artists are different. Not all of them do the same exact way of doing things. So
I know, but I think my mind. I've been in IT for years. My mind is very technical. It's very logical, and when I see something, it's hard for me to envision the end product. And I know sometimes that I know that I can watch artists and you can tell that they know exactly what they want the end product to look like in their head. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to splotch in different areas of it. And I'm just like, I don't get it.
Well, and that just depends on the artist. A lot of artists like myself, like I know what I want it to look like, but a lot of times it doesn't.
It never comes out the same.
It's not exactly what I envisioned, and you kind of have to be a little bit loose. There are some artists that they absolutely have to create what they envision, and they'll spend literally a year on one painting to get it to where they want it to be.
Yeah, it's got to be perfect or something. Yeah.
Well, it's not even perfect. It just has to have the vision. It has to be perfect in the vision. And there are some artists, like depending on what project I'm working on, I just like to see what happens. Like I have a vision of what I want it to be, but I got to be willing to be a little bit free flowing to see.
Welcome back, Jedi Knight.
Because of the fact that you have to be open to. It's kind of like life. When I used to teach in an art studio, I like to incorporate a little life lessons in there. It's kind of like life. You have an idea of how you want your life to go and be structured, but you got to be a little bit flexible because it never quite turns out exactly how you thought it was.
Welcome.
So. I mean, really, you were saying logical and everything like that. There's a lot of logic that goes into art. It just, even with the splotchies,
different type of logic.
There's a reason why there's a splotchy there. You just kind of have to develop your own style, and everybody's just so different. And it's really cool. Anybody can create art. Doesn't mean they're an artist, but I absolutely believe anybody can create.
Well, yeah, look at Hunter Biden. Oh wait, sorry.
I don't want to look at Hunter Biden. Thanks to the internet, I have seen so much of Hunter Biden that I cannot unsee it. I'm surprised I'm still attracted to men after what I've seen. So,
well,
that's pretty bad. That's
pretty rough.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Well, speaking for the female community, you have no idea.
You should just want to watch the world burn then.
Sometimes I used to be a little bit of a pyromaniac when I was growing up. So,
well, like I said, they discovered
burning fires. Campfires are nice.
They discovered a 130 kilometer comet heading into the solar system a few months back, and there are days where I'm like, the thing here yet?
I mean, you're like, I'm on my coffee break. Now would be really great.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm
go
free.
ahead. Just get it over with.
Oh, thank you, Jedi. Right. I'm not really that awesome, but anything you might see in me, it's Jesus. It's Jesus.
That's right. Praise the Lord.
He made me who I am today.
And today,
so what conclusion did we come to? What is the best Batman?
I don't think there is a best Batman. Like, I believe there really is, but I think overall there is no best Batman.
Val Kilmore. Kilmer.
No.
Sorry.
I think of that era. Yes. I think of the modern era. Well, it's hard to say of the modern era because I would say that probably, I think Affleck had the potential to be, but we didn't get to see it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're in agreement until we do see it. It's still Val Kilmer.
And I just don't have any faith that it's going to be Robert Sparkly Vampire.
Poor guy.
He might do a good job.
For his sake, I do hope that he does a great job.
If that movie ever gets released.
If it gets released, that's true. It's been production for how long now?
It said it's supposed to come out next year. So.
Yeah, but
it's scheduled for 2020.
4 years or something.
Yeah.
Or scheduled for 2022. So.
The pandemic might end before that movie comes out.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Hey, look at Australia.
The pandemic.
Look at Australia. They're building these camps for these wellness camps for people.
Look what you've done,
Dax. And the wellness camps.
Dan all riled up.
Yeah, the wellness camps.
Oh, damn! Look at Dax. I got Dax all riled up with that one.
Oh my gosh.
Driving me nuts. Yeah, we just got notice from our company the other day that we have to be vaccinated by a certain date. And
just quit.
I can tell you right now, there's a bunch of people that are going to be gone.
Yeah, it's
I will probably lose half of my team because they're not going to do it.
If I have to be vaxxed, I'll quit.
Did you hear about Jacksonville Airport?
Mm-mm.
Jacksonville.
Funny thing is, most people didn't hear about Jacksonville Airport. All of their flight controllers walked out in protest.
I think I did hear
down
about
over 650 flights.
Yeah, I think I did hear about that.
Nobody's talking about it on the
Of course not.
Not on the mainstream media. They won't because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people to know about it. They want people to say, "Oh, it's okay." I have to say this. I have a friend on Facebook. People, if you're praying, people pray for her. She is fully vaccinated. And she's as sick as a dog. She got COVID pneumonia. That's what they're calling it here.
One of my coworkers was vaccinated, just got hit real hard with it.
Yeah,
it's sad. It's really sad.
It is. And I don't think I know R2 is, he's vaccinated, but I
way to out me there.
Oh, sorry.
But
you had that sickly glow about you, R2.
Yeah, I think you're getting sick. You might want to go check it out.
To be honest,
you look a little green on one side.
That's joking.
For full disclosure, I am too. But the reason I am is because I talked to my doctor,
right?
And my doctor with my medical history.
And if you're healthy enough,
being overweight like I am, and not lost that weight yet. When I talked to my doctor, he said, no, with your medical history and the problems that your dad has had, he said, I would recommend that you go ahead and get it because if it hits you, it could hit you really hard. And I'm like, okay. Then he turned around and said, what about my 17-year-old son who's healthy as a horse? He goes, do not let him take it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't just like he was pushing it to everybody. As soon as I ask about my son, he goes,
and everybody's system's different. Yeah, everyone's different with how the effects are and stuff.
I think we've expressed it here before. It's like we don't care if you get the vaccination. It's, as everybody's saying, it's the mandates for the vaccination.
Yeah, it's the mandates.
I couldn't care 2 farthings if you get the
lockdowns. It's the mask.
And the fact that why is it all of a sudden the government's business what my health information is? I thought HIPAA was supposed to protect us from that.
They didn't care about it before.
HIPAA says that my employer can't even inquire about my medical status.
But now we have employers doing that.
We
now you have it.
Yeah, and we have what you call a communistic styled people are people in the communistic style, whatever it is, they're rising up and
Regime.
trying to make
And-
it happen.
and- And nobody should certainly get vaccinated because me and Dax are. They should go talk to their doctor if they're
Mhm.
planning on it or have questions. So that's really the one person
Exactly.
that you should talk to about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, talk to the person that knows you, knows your medical history, and
Yeah.
actually cares about you because you have a relationship with them. Don't listen to some idiot on Facebook or some idiot on the news because they're both just as wrong most of the time. I mean,
What about the fact checkers?
well, the fact checkers that
They're-
don't actually check the facts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even.
The
They
ones
don't
that
even
don't
look
stock
at the
in
facts.
Johnson and Johnson.
Yep.
Well,
Right.
this one guy, I said something the other day, and this one guy cited a fact check site off of something that I said. I said, dude, I quit listening to those a long time ago. When half the stuff that you hear somebody say it, and you go to the fact check site, and it's like, well, partially false. It's like, no, I actually heard that person say it. I watched that person say it live.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Don't believe your eyes.
Woo.
Believe what
Hey,
they tell you.
Whitey Wicked Workshop. Hey, you
Whitey!
finally made
Oh,
it.
it's
You know, we're
no.
already 2 hours
gonna-
in, so
We're gonna be
say
on here
goodbye
another
soon.
hour. Oh my
Another
gosh,
hour
Whitey,
because
why
of
you
the-
gotta?
I don't
be
know
like
if I
that?
can. I don't know if I can be on much longer. I'll be honest, because it is getting late
me
over
either.
here.
It is. Oh, it's just getting late over here.
Well-
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's even later for you guys.
Yeah, I'll be traveling tomorrow. Say prayers for me. I'm like,
Safe travels.
yes, safe
Where you going,
travels.
Tabitha?
Well, hopefully
an
you're not flying to
undisclosed-
Alabama.
no, I'm not flying, but I'm not flying right now.
Yes, Whitey, we know it's 11:38 p.m.
Vacation. I mean, like just like vacation, family, or
I'm visiting a friend. If you've been on my channel and you've seen me do my artwork for CRPS and my friend Brooke,
oh,
I'm actually going to go visit with her again and learn some more about her illness. And we're actually going to do a photo shoot together to raise awareness
cool.
for her. And I'm going to do a special photo shoot for myself where I'm going to take her and then do a painting. I wanted to do, because her illness has to do with the nervous system. And so because the nervous system runs throughout the entire body, every part of her is in pain constantly. And it's the closest thing that they can describe it to is between being burning like fire or burning like you're freezing. It's not funny, Dan.
No,
No,
like,
I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not
he's
laughing.
channeling the Joker right now at an inappropriate moment.
I know.
No, he's laughing at Dave. Dave
Illuminati.
says, "Me and Dax are Illuminati with our matching hats." Hey, we had drunk 3PO in here earlier. I don't know if he's
That's
still
right.
here.
The
No,
man, the myth,
he
the
probably
legend.
isn't.
But anyway,
Probably
I'm just
not.
going to
It's
work
been
on a
2
special.
hours.
Oh yeah, he's probably somewhere else. He's probably at Krispy Kreme at this time of night. But anyway, I'm just going to work on a
Potato
special
Biden.
project with her to do some painting. I
Avery,
was
it's
wanting.
not just Biden though. You got to think about this. What
Oh, yeah.
has what's her name been doing way before Biden, and what has the Democrat Party's been doing when Trump was in office, saying Trump was the bad guy, and
Right.
making all that jazz happen. You
Make
got
all
to
that
think it's
jazz.
more than just Biden. Biden is just a little puppet. He's the one that
Yeah.
talks for him, maybe talks for him because he doesn't talk well. And then you got I don't know. I saw a video where Pelosi is talking in the background, but Biden's like, okay, and if we can get some questions
Oh, yeah,
or
where they
something,
shut him
and then
down.
Pelosi's like, no, we don't want him to ask any more questions. We don't want him to answer questions. Tell him to get off, And it was mic'd, so she obviously.
So
you're
we
like,
all heard it.
Yeah, we all heard that one. Are you sure he's in
Well,
charge? He's not in charge.
I hate to say that half the things that we see nowadays, I used to not like what was going on in the government.
Yeah, I
And
didn't like it either.
now, though,
Now it's
I
getting
think,
worse.
well, now I think it's gotten to the point of at times it is just pure evil.
Oh,
When
yes.
you're turning the FBI against parents because they're protesting at their schools because they don't like what's being taught to their children,
Mhm.
or they don't like the way their children are being treated, and you're going to turn a militant agency, an agency that can employ force against its
That's good, though.
citizens for protesting.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the and the other thing that I think is a very critical thing here is if you start getting between parents and their
Come
children,
on, man.
there's a
Yeah.
line there that you cannot cross
Oh yeah.
without significant problems.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Tabitha, tell Brooke that we hope she's doing well and that we send her love and our
Yes.
prayers with her.
I will. She was
That's right.
quite thrilled and overwhelmed when I told her the reaction that people had been given over the video and sharing and liking, and she was crying. She just couldn't believe it, and so just
Gotta
gonna try to
remember, Jesus heals.
right.
Well,
Well,
it should be
yeah,
a good
and
photo shoot because she's a beautiful young woman. So
she's gorgeous, and she's a believer too, Dan. I mean, with our world, with what we have and our knowledge of this disease currently, it's incurable. It will claim her life. It is slowly killing her every day, but she absolutely knows that God could, if He wanted to, bring her through
Mhm.
this. But her testimony through all of this is, I think, much stronger than if God would just heal her from this. Because
Well,
but that's out of my hands.
he'll bring her through it. Just
Yeah.
maybe not the best way she would hope for.
Yeah, and I think she's, obviously she's young, but she's a very brave girl, and of course she has her good days and her bad days. But I think she's, from what I understand, she's accepted both routes. Whichever way
Mhm.
pleases God most is what she wants for her life. So she's just living her life the best that she can, and she's actually engaged to a very special young man, and so she's just living her life and just trusting God every day.
That's right. That's good.
Well, like I said, send her our prayers.
I will. Thank you.
Well, no, back to what we were talking about, though. I do think that a lot of things that we are seeing are pure evil, and
Yeah.
I've started commenting more and more about it. And a friend of mine one day, she goes, "Do you really think that's going to help using that kind of rhetoric against things, and calling people evil for what they're doing? You
Gotta
think
call 'em
that's going to
out.
help anything?" And I'm like, at this point, I don't care. When I see something,
Well, you got to
that's
call it out
so,
with what
yeah,
it is.
abhorrent,
We've been
I
hidden for
have to
far
say
too
something.
long.
Yeah.
And if you look, people are like, "Oh, well, this proposal is overwhelmingly popular." Really? Because it sure doesn't seem that way when, Fauci gets 84,000 dislikes to 8,000 likes on the video documentary from Disney.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's so stupid. Why would they even put a documentary about Fauci? What a moron.
Well,
Well,
Alasia had she
Yes,
was on
Dave.
Twitter commenting about that, and I put
For a
something
short time,
underneath
you're
of that.
absolutely right.
What ticks me off is this whole, we're in this whole equality crap, era, and I was like, so when is Dr. Deborah Birx going to get her movie? When is she going to get her little
There you
specialty
go.
doc?
Yeah.
Wasn't she on TV every day with him and the president back last year, trying to help America, if you will, solve its problems?
what
I'm not
happened to her?
necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily everything she said was right. I have no idea if she was playing the game. All I know is that she was in the spotlight about as much as Fauci was, trying to help our nation. But for some reason, we don't. And she's a woman. Oh my goodness, she was a woman in prominent standing. How come she doesn't get a film or a book deal or all this stuff? So
because she made one mistake. She made
Thank
one
you,
mistake.
Dave.
She did not throw Trump under the bus as soon
Yeah.
as he was out of office.
Yeah.
So that was her sin for not, being Fauci.
was-
But I think it was Dan that commented the other day that they're going to make wasn't it might have been you that said they're going to make an episode for each time he changed his mind. And I was like, well, God, that thing's going to have seasons then. It's going to go on for years.
Season 15.
Somebody made a post about that. They made a meme that there was it was going to be 12 episodes for every time he's changed his
that was
mind.
a Babylon Bee.
Oh, okay.
Prophecy.
But I'm like, God,
That's
if they're going to
right.
do it for every time he's changed his mind, this show's going to run forever. It's going to run longer than Cops.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
But
Thanks,
there's
Dave.
just so many things that when people
I look happy.
when people try to silence other people, I think that trying to oppress somebody's speech is one of the most inherently evil things you can do.
Yeah.
Because if you are trying to shut somebody down,
For having an opinion.
what are all the pictures on the ceiling?
Those are all pictures my son's drawn.
Cool.
Aww.
I love kid art. I used to have a ton of it, and that's
His
one
son
of the
is
things. That's one of the
adorable.
things that
This
sucks.
wall here,
That's what we lost in
and
the
over
flood
there.
that I can't.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
that's
sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the things we lost in the flood that just I
Yeah.
can't ever replace.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dax.
Yeah, but all of us pulled through.
Right.
No
He'll
damage
make
to
you
us,
feel
so-
better.
And I can't thank God for this community enough. People donated. People
Yeah,
like
shared.
Jay donated an entire stream to raising money for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And if this community hadn't rallied behind us, we still don't have the second half of the insurance money yet, and we flooded on Memorial Day.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the
And-
insurance, insurance.
Yeah,
people, they
and
just
it's
want
like-
your money. They don't want to give it back.
we
That's how
had
it
to pay
is.
for
Unfortunately,
$12,000 out of pocket just to start, getting everything rolling with the reconstruction and stuff. And that was before we ever got it took us 6 weeks to get the first insurance check.
that's
And so we would have sat in a house with, water in the walls, mud on the floor, parts
my
of the house
gosh.
falling off. We cleaned a lot of it ourselves, but you just couldn't get. I don't know if you've ever been around creek mud, but it's that fine, silty little stuff that you just cannot get it out of everything and off everything without a professional crew coming out here with those machines that'll blast it out and pull it all up. We'd have been like that way for weeks had it not been for the fact that within just maybe 2 weeks, this community raised almost $10,000 on a GoFundMe that allowed us to actually. And then once we finally got the insurance money, that allowed us to replace the things that it didn't cover, like appliances and all that kind of stuff. So I tell you what,
thank you.
there's a lot of bad. Yeah, there's a lot of bad things you see going on in the world today. There's a lot of reasons that make you want to be skeptical or negative about it. But this community showed me that there's still a lot of good people out there, and there's a lot of good. And I'll be honest, my mom, when I suggested the idea, she's like, "Oh, I don't like asking people for help."
Right.
And I'm like, "Look, I understand that, but I've helped people when they've been in need before. And if I told her, I said, if God sets it before you that here these people will help you, and you don't accept the help, what if those are the answers to the prayers that you've been praying?
Right.
God help us get through this. God help us find a way to survive this.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the way, and you go, no, I don't want to accept help from people.
Yeah.
It's like that old joke where there's a man in a boat in the middle of the ocean, and he's praying to God that God will help save him. And the boat, this other boat, all these like 3 or 4 different boats come by.
Yeah.
And he finally dies. He gets to heaven. He goes, God, why didn't you save me? He goes, I sent 4 people. It's like, what do you want?
Boats for you to. Yep. That's right.
So it was hard to accept the help, but we have been so thankful for it. It's just.
Yeah.
And you'll notice I don't have, like I was telling Dan earlier, all y'all's rooms back there. Y'all all look all cool and everything. You got all the knickknacks behind you and all the artwork and stuff. Yeah, I got a green wall and a brand new door that's not even been painted behind me yet. Because none of that stuff is what I could save of all that stuff is way up high on shelves right now. I do have.
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Phil. But remember,
my X-wing.
Here at Inside the Booth, we say vanquish that like button.
I got my X-wing hanging back there.
I like your X-wing.
Oh, cool.
I got a Gina figure. And then, of course, I'm
Nice.
from Texas, so I got my cowboy hat.
A cowboy hat.
And then my Gina hat is hanging there.
I didn't know they made Gina hats. Is that from the website? Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I'll show you what it is.
That's what it is. I forgot.
Give that thumbs up to Batman. Give that Batman thumbs up. Batman thumbs.
Batman thumbs.
How about Joker thumbs?
There it is. Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, G. It's got a G on it. What's up, G?
Come on.
Yeah, it's got a G on it and about 1.5 pounds of cat hair. Oh my god.
Oh, the Batman echoes. You give thumbs up. Oh, the Batman echoes. I like it.
Yeah.
Hulk smash like button.
It was laying on one of my tables a while ago, and apparently a cat decided to take a nap on it.
My cat hair spreads so quickly.
Yummy.
But yeah, on one wall I have all of my little knickknacks up on one shelf,
Phil.
and then I've got all my computer parts on the other one.
What poster would you have made?
I made a poster of Dan.
Alrighty then.
That's what you've been doing. I've been wondering what you've been
I
doing.
love
sitting
it.
Over there.
Just working on Dan.
Device not connected, R2.
I was trying to just make somebody, and I was like, oh, it's starting to look like Dan. See? You just never know where the art's going to take you.
I've got to say that
you should have put a makeup on his face.
That Cara Dune chibi is super cute. And like I said, when my mom brought over the package the other day, she was like, asking, what did you get in this funky box? And I opened it up and showed her. She's like, oh my God, that thing is so cute.
Oh, it is cute. I mean, not trying to toot my own horn, but it turned out better than I thought it would.
You got something, R2?
Me? I just wanted to message you. I gotta take off in five minutes. So
okay, because this thing says R2.
I was trying to send you a message, but I'm connected with my phone. So I try to log in on on here and send a message to you. So that's all.
Well, I have to admit, I've been yawning for about the past 30 minutes because I would be.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Now, but I got to say, it's been a lot of fun. Next time, maybe I'll trim down a little bit so that y'all can see if I'm smiling or laughing, so it won't be hidden by all the facial hair. But
maybe have the camera at a lower angle so we can see up.
Possibly, I did. Like I said, it's not set up for doing this anymore because
I got it.
Everything has been moved around.
Yeah, it happens.
It was so nice to have Dax on and to see Dax in person.
Yeah.
It was.
He's here Dax all the time, so it's great to finally see him.
And I waste way too much. I mean, I spend way too much of my time on Twitter.
I think everybody does, don't we?
Yeah.
Try not to.
Try not to.
You know what? I've gotten to where
joke's on you.
I've gotten to where punking these little people who want to smart off or make stupid comments, it's kind of cathartic now. I really like making people look like idiots when they spout off something.
Mm-hmm. Good show. Ninny. Wing hugs.
Wing hugs.
I like how you guys are just the same. Wing hugs.
Okay, well, I guess I got to.
Did you get that? Yeah. Did you get that? Did you get that wing hug? That's what the Joker does. Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I think Dan just doesn't want to take the makeup off. That's all.
He really likes it.
Yeah, Dan must have spent a long time putting that makeup on.
Actually took me like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes to do it. because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm spraying, I'm putting things on, and I go, oh, it looks all right. Okay, let's go.
He secretly has one of those things from Fifth Element where he just holds it to his face and it puts the makeup on for him.
That's right. Put that spray paint in my beard and in my hair. I gotta go take a shower now to get all this off, I think.
Well, definitely turn the camera off then. So
yes, well, we'll
no,
go
don't
ahead
worry.
and let you
This
do
camera
that.
doesn't go with me. Come with me, everybody.
What do you mean shower? David's just gonna hose him down in the backyard.
Nice.
Well, alrighty. Thanks everybody for showing up.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
saying hello
Yes.
and everything.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for you two down there. One's this way, one's straight down. Thanks for you guys coming on. Thank you, Tabitha over there, for always coming on.
I won't be here Tuesday though.
No, you won't be. That's
I'm
right.
traveling.
Tuesday special 10 o'clock show, and then it's going to rerun at 9 o'clock, everybody. So there you go. Hopefully it works this time, the whole rerun thing, but I don't know. We'll see.
Not at 2 o'clock.
No, not at 2. 10 a.m. and then over yonder to 9. So, all right, R2's already left. Goodbye. And we will all say goodbye now. And at the end of this show, I will put it on me and I'll just laugh. And then I'll hit the goodbye button.
Say goodbye, Dan.
Maybe I'll just
Bye,
leave it
guys.
on Tabitha's.
Nice to be on. Thanks for having me. We'll have to
Hey,
do
you're
this again
welcome.
sometime.
Oh, look who came back. Hey, you
Archie
came back.
couldn't get
Sorry.
enough. He was like,
Just booted me off. I'm sorry. I got booted off.
Oh, that's okay. We're just gonna jump off
Yeah.
anyways.
We were saying our goodbyes as you pop back on.
Good night,
Now we're gonna
everybody.
stay for another 30 minutes.
See ya, R2. Good night.
All right.
Good night,
No,
everyone.
no.
Well, have a good night.
It's good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm gonna put it on me. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna stop this, and then we can do our thing afterwards. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Alrighty. Good night.
Wrong way. Wrong way. This way. This way. No, wrong one. Man, I'm not good at this at all. Who knows how to use this thing? There we go.